8 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., your airline is legally required to compensate you for a meal or two and pay for your hotel for the night. According to this new reporting, that may not be the case anymore. That's Trump's America, folks. Now, we're going to go ahead and hop straight into the debates. Listen, guys, I don't know how the hell anybody could still support Trump, but they do nonetheless. Let's go ahead and get that very first Trump supporter up of the day. We're going to load them in right now. Folks, we got 801 connecting. Make sure if you find yourself in that queue, you are an American adult that is pro-Trump, and just make sure that you're following those rules. What's going on at 801? Do you support Trump?
I'm fucking up these shifts, bro.
And it is a very small child. A very small child indeed. Moving on to the next guest, we got Trey GBA connecting. Make sure that we're following those rules. Trey, are you MAGA or are you banned?
No, but remember when you told your fan base to dox someone?
You would be banned since you're not MAGA. We are going to go ahead and move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. Let's go ahead and get Jonah connected into live, guys. Make sure if you find yourself in that queue, you're a Trump supporter. And for the 4.5 thousand of you guys hanging out with us in the stream here for the day, make sure that we're double tapping right now.
And Trump is gold for real. I love Trump.
Very nice. I want to make sure that you're not pooping in diapers still. How old are you? Oh, well, he already left. Okay. All right. Well, once again, for the 5,000 people joining us, we are well underway to attempting to find the first person of the day to come up here and debate me on why they support Trump. I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you guys. They don't want to debate me anymore. For the last, couple weeks, couple months, it has been nearly impossible to get a Trump supporter up in here because they know they just don't have an argument. But listen, you guys, that aside, once again, we brought up a handful of things at the beginning of the live, breaking news. We'll go over one of those things once more just for everybody new joining us. So a chief deputy at the Department of Justice was caught on a hot mic undercover saying that the DOJ is going to be redacting the names of the Republicans on the Epstein files, just leaving the names of the Democrats. And that he thinks that Ghislaine Maxwell, who was Epstein's right-hand gal, was moved from a maximum security prison to a minimum security prison at the request of the president just to keep her quiet and to keep her happy. And the circumstance in which he was caught saying these things under was also pretty hilarious. He matched with a woman on Hinge and then went on a date with her. But this woman on Hinge was an undercover reporter. She was a journalist. So I got to say, that's pretty good on her, First, what are the chances that she knew he was on Hinge? Then what are the chances that she was in his right age range or whatever? I think that you can select an age range on Hinge. And then the chances that he would see her and swipe right on her. And then when all of that happened, then she went on a date with him with a camera connected to her shirt. Just great journalism. Let me tell you, great journalism. But let's go and get that next Trump supporter loaded up in here, guys. Make sure that we're following the rules. If you'd like to skip the queue of trolls, go ahead and put a MAGA with your age down below in that comment section, and I'll get you pulled up. Like I said, lots of trolls, guys, because there's not a whole lot of people that are down to debate me. I'm going to be honest. What's up? Do you support Trump?
No, I just wanted to say I love you.
All right. I'm unfortunately going to have to ban you, but I do appreciate you for your support. You just got to make sure that you're following the rules. We're actually going to go and put the rules up in the middle of the phone screen since you guys can't follow them for whatever reason. Take a good look at those rules. Make sure that if you're in that queue that you are an American adult that is pro-Trump. Please, please, please. Okay. All right. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Absolutely.
Okay. And how old are you?
36.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute for 30 seconds here because you've got a little bit of an echo. In fact, if you want to try to fix it, that'd be great. Disconnect any Bluetooth devices, go in and out of the app, just do anything to try to fix that. And while you're working on that, my friend, I'm actually going to go ahead and start the live stream over on YouTube. So give me a second to get this done. I cannot wait to hop into a good debate with you, my friend. Let's go ahead and get the stream on YouTube started. Here we go, folks. It should only be a moment. Should only be a moment. Hello and welcome in to everybody tuning in on YouTube. It is so good to have you in here with us for the day. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time. If you haven't been here before, we basically debate Trump supporters until we rage quit, which typically happens at around the 4-hour mark. Now, the way that we get Trump supporters up in the stream is through TikTok, where we are dual streaming to. We started our stream over there about 8 minutes ago. We're close to 6,000 live concurrent viewers. And in fact, we already have our very first Trump supporter of the day loaded in and connected to the live. Welcome in, man.
How's it going?
It's going all right. And you already told us you support Trump. I think I know a great way to start this conversation because your screen name on TikTok is Constitutionalist25. So are you a constitutionalist?
Absolutely. But, I came on here because you seem to be pretty well informed and up to date with everything. And I'm just curious why he was duly elected. Kamala lost and spent over 1.1 billion. He spent 350 million and beat her duly elected. All 7 swing states, majority governor lead across the U.S. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty landslide, I had to say electoral landslide victory.
Okay.
But
Okay. All right. Well, here's how I feel about that. I think that he won the election because of misinformation. I think that he won the election because of a lack of strong points from Biden, responding to claims from the right saying that he's to blame for the negative economic outcome of the pandemic. And I think there's a handful of other reasons too. But for the most part, I think that's why he literally won the election. But I hope that you're not trying to argue that because he won the election, he'd be the better candidate. But I want to ask you about your name here because your name is Constitutionalist, okay? How can you, as a constitutionalist, support Trump as president when point number 1, he told an ABC News reporter he doesn't even know if he has to hold to the Constitution, and point number 2, he's explicitly called for the termination of the Constitution and has violated the Constitution 4 or 5 times since his term started in January?
violated in what manner?
January 20th, 2024. He passed Executive Order number 14160, which infringed upon the 14th Amendment. There's one amendment. There's one executive order to start with.
Okay, so was that reversed, or was he found guilty of doing that, or what are you saying?
I'm saying that the executive order was unconstitutional. It attempted to take birthright citizenship away from the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil when they expressly have birthright citizenship, not only because of the clear text of the 14th Amendment, but also SCOTUS rulings. And something else in relation to the 14th Amendment here is that yesterday, he once again said that he's seriously considering taking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship away, but it's also her constitutional right under the same section of the 14th. But let's stick on that executive order.
But yeah, as far as liberals don't remember, though, Obama deported more people than Trump did.
Well, remember, we're not talking about their deportations. We're talking about how Donald Trump illegally infringed and violated on the constitutional rights of those that have them when he attempted to take birthright citizenship away from those that have it.
Attempted, so it was not executed. He didn't complete it. Is that correct?
Well, he signed it into law. He put his signature on the EO. Then he got checked by a couple federal judges. But once again, he's the one that belligerently passed an unconstitutional executive order.
I think they all push the barriers. I mean, there's been things that Clinton did in the past. Obama, for sure. What do you say? I have a phone and a pen. I mean, people, they push the limits, Can you point me to where, Biden, for instance, belligerently signed executive orders into law that were unconstitutional? Like for instance, we already just went over the one that Trump signed into law talking about, his infringements upon the 14th. A week ago, he also infringed upon the First Amendment, free speech, with an executive order when he attempted to ban burning of the American flag. December of 2022, he straight up called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Yesterday, he called once again for an infringement upon the 14th Amendment when he said he wanted to take citizenship away from Rosie O'Donnell, even though she was born in New York. That's her constitutional right once again. Last week, a federal court ruled that he was guilty of violating the Constitution with enacting his tariffs. And then 3 months ago, once again, he said that he might want to run for a third term and even described how he thinks he could get it done. That was calling for a termination of the 22nd Amendment that would limit anybody to 2 terms. That was a joke as well. He knows he can't run again, even though Vance, it'll be a landslide, when he gets in there. But yeah, he knows he can't run again. He probably be, 85? How old will he be? I mean, he's going to be too old anyway, But all I can say is liberals going to have to bring somebody really good to the plate because they got too radical, and it's going to be bad for them. I don't think they're going to do very good at all, even though they lost the House, Senate.
So, do you
want to
respond to my argument?
I really. really don't have a whole lot to say. We'll just have to see how the numbers go, how the tariffs, the income that it generates, the
Why would that be
the
relevant
stock
to
market.
the fact that the federal court ruled them as unconstitutional, alongside the other 5 expressly unconstitutional things that Donald Trump has done in the last 250 days, alongside him explicitly calling for its termination? See, the reason why I want you to respond to these facts is because your name is literally
No, I
a
agree with you. I
constitutionalist.
agree with what you're saying. I'm on the economy side. I like to work. The stock market's about to be the greatest in history.
You're
it's
still
ever been.
pivoting, man. Please respond
No,
to
no,
these
I mean,
facts.
I agree
The
with
reason,
you.
the
If,
reason,
in
I,
fact, he
the reason
did
I
this
want you to
stuff.
respond to these facts is because your name is literally constitutionalist.
Second Amendment pro. He's pro. I mean, he's pro Second Amendment.
He
That's
violated
a
the
big-
Second Amendment in his first term with his bump stock ban.
because liberals were raising hell. They said you need to do something. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go back and listen to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi. She don't even want you to have an AR-15. You didn't even know what it was called. It's
So
called an AR-18.
Trump has violated the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 22nd Amendment.
First of all, if you knew what you were talking about with weapons, the bump stock was actually not. It's not considered a weapon. It's an attachment, like a scope and or a foregrip. So you don't know what you're talking about there, brother.
You don't know
And
what
by
you're
the
talking
way,
about because I just simply said it was in violation of your Second Amendment, which is true
No,
because
it's
that's what
not.
SCOTUS ruled.
Violation of the Second Amendment would be taking the handgun or weapons away, firearms.
Who
That's not a
interprets the
fire-
Constitution?
Read the Second Amendment.
Answer my question. Who interprets the Second Amendment? Who interprets the Constitution?
I believe that would have to be. I mean, it would have to go through probably the House and the Senate if there were going to be any changes or
What?
addendums.
Whoa,
thing,
dude!
wouldn't
Your
it?
name is constitutionalist. You should know who ultimately interprets the Constitution.
You should know that he did not take a weapon away.
You're
as
not
the liberals
answering
have
my
tried
question.
to. Bill Clinton, 10-year
What, wait,
ban.
dude,
or a 2-year
dude,
ban, excuse me.
dude. There is one question that I want you to answer. Who
Well, you
ultimately
should
interprets
make
the
sure- when
Constitution?
you get your facts right. Get your facts right before you say that. He did not mess with the
You don't even
AR-15.
know
It
the
was a
facts,
ban.
man. What question am I asking you, and what's your answer? Stop playing dumb. Stop pivoting, deflecting, and dodging. You're making yourself look very stupid. Who interprets the goddamn Constitution?
Who interprets a loss? Liberals. And you spent $1.2 billion, and you're going to lose again when Vance runs.
Okay, just tell me that you don't have an answer to the
whatever
question.
Her name is.
Hey, man.
You got Newscomb.
Man,
No, it's not going to happen.
Man, just tell me that you
Not
don't know
gonna
the
happen.
answer to the question, and I'll help you.
Tell me that y'all can't win and you lose.
Okay,
every-
you don't know the answer to the question. So the answer to the question, who interprets the Constitution, is the Supreme Court. Now, the reason
forms
you're
of
interrupting me, I'm going to need you to put the binky in your mouth. Why are you acting
Yeah.
like this? You're twice
All
my
forms
age.
of power were lost by liberals, and now they don't know what to do. They're bitter. They're disappointed with their party.
The only person here who is bitter is you.
My
I'm
stocks are
trying
great.
to have a confluent conversation with you here, and I can't get you to calm down and stay on track. Sir, just take a quick
I'm
breather.
good.
Take a quick
I just
breather.
said the
I'm going to
economy.
need you to
I'm
calm
more
down.
concerned with the economy.
Sir, take a breather.
He's trying to get the interest rates
My
lower.
friend.
Liberals won't let him.
My friend, let's take a breath. Okay? Now that you've taken a breath, let's go back to what I was saying. Do you know what question I asked you?
Just y'all got to do better next election. Promise me that. Get somebody. Do y'all
What's
have anybody?
going on? Is my mic on?
You got to have somebody. I mean, I know AOC. You got
Hey,
to do better than that.
hey,
I mean,
hey.
Girl, could you make a good bartender?
Hey, is my mic on?
Great talking with you, man. Keep at it. Get liberals back
What the
on
fuck
track.
is going on? Dude, is this okay? So this guy has reached the final late stage of MAGA denial. He just left. Get pushed. Get fucking pushed. Yo, somebody in my YouTube comment section said, stop cutting him off, man. What? No, I'm sorry. I don't let people. Dude, somebody in my YouTube comment section just unironically told me to stop cutting him off. Maybe if he directly responded to not just one question, but anything I said the whole time he was up here, I wouldn't have cut him off. He couldn't even tell me if my mic was on. Oh my God. Wow, what a total decimation of the MAGA mind. That's the MAGA brain worm right there, folks. You could hear that worm wriggling around in his head. Okay, and as soon as I wanted to hijack his brain with truth, reason, fact, and logic, the worm took control of the prefrontal cortex and went on to their next event that MAGA adults do. Maybe he's gonna play with blocks, or I don't know. Learn basic subtraction and division. I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you pulled up here. Please make sure that we're following the rules. And by the way, if you want to support me, you could support me on Venmo or PayPal. We finally got our PayPal account fully reinstituted today, which is cool. But guys, go to put a MAGA with your age down below in that comment section. We'll get you loaded up in here for the 8.6 thousand people hanging out with us on TikTok. Good to have you all in here with us. Let's go to move on to the next guest, though. We got Grace Goodman connecting to the stream. We got Grace Goodman connecting to the stream. Also, Parker, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying get pushed. Thank you, Parker. Let's get 1,000 Parker W's. And then Lindsay and Lenny with a 5 each. Appreciate you guys. What's up? Are you MAGA? We're going to give you 5 seconds here before we kick you. All right, they're not here, guys. I wish that we had somebody or like a group of people that could kind of like look at the queue and ensure that everyone who is in the queue is like here to debate, because the queue is so bad, guys. It's so bad. But we're going to get that next guest up here. Joshua, what is up? Are you MAGA? Joshua, once again, you have 5 seconds to respond. Joshua can't handle the heat either. Guys, the guests today have a little bit of stage fright. If you're a Trump supporter that doesn't hop in that queue, I'd love to chat. Hop in that queue. I'd love to chat. The rules are simple. You just got to be an American adult that's for Trump. What's up, AJ? Are you MAGA? Okay, AJ's literally sleeping. That doesn't make much sense considering we started the stream less than 15 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and load up that next guest right now. I have no clue why anybody in the queue right now would be asleep or AFK. We just started the stream. What's up,
Yo,
RB?
D.
What's up, man? You MAGA?
Yeah, I just tried fishing Trey Taylor's pond, and he said, lock him up. Lock him up.
No clue who that is or what you're saying or what it's in reference to.
It's not state property.
Nice. So why do you support Trump?
Because he won't let me fish Trey Taylor's pond, bro.
All right, we're going to go ahead and kick him. And let's go to move on to the next guest, guys. Make sure that we're following those rules right now. We can't find any Trump supporters. We have nearly 9,000 people hanging out with us on the TikTok stream. Nobody's here. All the MAGA is, MAGA's extinct, folks. Extinct, folks. What's up? Do you support Trump?
100%.
Okay, how old are you?
39.
Great. M, thank you for the motorcycle. Sir, take it away. Why do you support Mr. Trump, who I would consider to be the worst president of your 40 years of life?
In my opinion, he's the best president. The best president that's ever walked the earth, in my opinion. I support everything that he's done
Oh, God.
to the fullest. I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't. I guess what you like supporting
Can
is
I need
allowing...
I'm gonna need to ask a quick question of clarification here. So you just said he's the best president in American history, better than the guy that freed the
100%.
slaves. What is the best thing that he's ever
100%.
done that makes him better than the guy that freed the slaves?
Everything. He's putting money in everybody's pockets, 100%.
How is he
Love
putting
him.
money into people's pockets?
Gas is cheaper. Grocery prices are cheaper. The economy is 100% better than what it was under Biden. Inflation was way too high when Biden was president.
Okay.
And now it's lower than what it was when Biden was president.
Okay,
So I'm
so-
able to save a lot more money than what I was during when dog shit Biden was president.
So you just said that the price
Can
of
I ask
groceries...
you a question, though?
I'd like to respond to something that you said first. You just told us that the price of groceries are down. So that's actually not true. If you go on Google and you type in price of groceries...
Well, where I live in Texas. So
I'm gonna need to be able to finish here. Just like I was asking to the last guest, don't interrupt me. I won't interrupt you. We could have a good conversation. We're just two dudes trying to figure out what's true and what's false. Okay, listen. So you told us that you think that the price of groceries is down because of Trump. If you go on Google, you type in grocery prices, BLS, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you will see that the price of nearly every single commodity sold in the grocery store is more expensive today than it was in January when Donald Trump was inaugurated. The price of groceries are not down across the country on average, sir.
Well, I shop at HEB, which is a store brand in Texas, and everything is way cheaper than what it was compared to last year.
Well, you cannot replace statistics with your anecdotal experiences. Okay, because
Well,
even
I'm just
assuming
letting
that
you
you're
know. I
telling
don't
us
know
what
if you
is
ever heard of H-E-B.
even assuming that what
H-E-B
you're
is a
telling
great
us is
store.
true, right? The explanation for why the groceries where you live may be less expensive than they were a year ago, meanwhile, groceries on average countrywide are more expensive, probably has more to do with your local economy compared to the policy that we see consequential of our federal government at the reign of Trump.
Right. I mean, I could agree with that.
All right, so Donald
And
Trump didn't
a lot
make your
of Texans
groceries less
are
expensive.
Republicans.
So what has he
Hey,
done
they're
that makes you
Republicans,
support
baby.
him?
That's what I support. I support what makes me support Trump. I love the fact that he's getting all these immigrants that don't belong to be here out of here because they were 100% taking jobs away from the American people.
I thought that you said that
By
you support economic prosperity, according to the Immigration Council.
I don't
if we
support
were-
people coming
Okay.
here illegally. I don't support that. Plain and simple. I don't think that they get to just cut in line, cross over the border, and take jobs from actual American people.
Okay, so they actually create more jobs. So I think one thing that you and other Trump supporters get confused is just because we have more people working doesn't mean that there's less jobs on the table. Like, think about it. We have more people working today than we did 100 years ago, but was there more job opportunities today or 100 years ago? Think about it, right? And undocumented immigrants are an incredibly productive demographic of individuals in this country as they qualify for less benefits in all 50 states and from the federal government, which means we spend less on them and they're more likely to participate in the workforce as more of them are of working age, meaning they spend more on us by contributing to GDP growth and paying more in taxes, right? So according to the American Immigration Council, if we were to remove them all tomorrow, our GDP would go down by 1.1 trillion through 1.4 trillion dollars. And it would cost around $2 trillion in the next 10 years to get it done. Maybe this is one of the many reasons why GDP growth this year is at 1.4%, but last year under Biden, it was at 2.5%. And maybe this is another one of those reasons why today, for the first time since the peak of the pandemic, there are more unemployed Americans than there are job opportunities.
I think the job opportunity thing was because I remember reading something on the internet that the reason why it looked at Biden creating more jobs compared to Trump was that it had to do with the pandemic. Because after the pandemic was over with, people were filling in jobs that were already created, and it got like a boost.
Well, my
in the
claim had
economy.
nothing to do with the amount of jobs created or not created by Biden. It was just simply the fact that today in America, as of today, literally today, there are more unemployed Americans than there are open job opportunities. And this is the first time that has been true since the peak of the pandemic.
Maybe more people should stop going to college and wasting their lives for a degree that when they get out of college, which is a complete scam, they go to college for all those years to get out and they can't even get a fucking job.
Actually, college admission rates are lower too. All right, and then when you're in school, you're not counted as an unemployed person. Did you know that? So it's like that response doesn't matter. So the unemployment rate is not calculated by looking at all Americans and comparing that to the amount that are working. It's looking at Americans that are able to work that aren't working. So if you're in school, you're not classified as able to work, meaning that you are not considered in the overall unemployment rate.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so do we see
Ask
here
your
how like
question.
the economy isn't doing too well? Because you suggested that it was doing great, but then I give you the facts. I say GDP growth is down, inflation is up, unemployment is up. First time since the peak of the pandemic, there's more unemployed Americans than there are open job opportunities. Trump's mass deportation is killing our economy, reducing our producers' productive capacities by firing 8.3 million of their laborers, and he's just absolutely destroying the country. What is your response to all these facts? And if you truly value the state of the American economy, why is this not sufficient reason for you to reject your support for Trump?
Why would I reject him when he's doing a great job?
I just explained all these things that prove he's not. Okay?
Because
Don't let your
I'll-
feelings build reality. Let reality build your feelings.
Reality for me is that when Biden was president, my business went to complete shit
And how did Biden cause your business to go to shit?
because the economy was just dog shit.
And how did Biden cause the economy to be dog shit?
Well, I mean, so for one, when Trump was president, not this term, last term, my business was booming. Donald
That
Trump
doesn't
lost
answer
the
my
election.
question. What do you think? What do you think I'm asking you? I'm asking you literally, what did
I was
Biden
able-
do to
I was
destroy
able
your
to sell-
business?
I was able to, because all I heard was the economy is full of shit and they're scared about spending money on projects when Biden was president.
Scared about spending
That's
money
all I
on
heard
projects.
from-
Take a look at this. So on screen, I'm going to show you a graph of investment into the into American manufacturing. If you want to see the y-axis, go to Google, type in Fred real private fixed investment into American manufacturing, and what we'll actually see is that we saw the largest boom in investment into American manufacturing ever under the Biden-Harris administration.
I'm happy Trump won. I'm happy my life has improved.
Come on, bro. Respond to that last point. What are we doing?
Drastically.
I asked you how I asked you how Biden hurt your business. You tell me that he did something that like reduced the amount of money that's being invested into businesses. I give you data from the Federal Reserve that shows under his term we saw the most money ever invested into our businesses, and you completely ignored it. What are you doing? Take the blinders off, sir.
I'm not taking anything off. I'm just telling you from my perspective and my knowledge of what happened during Biden's term with my business. It went to complete shit. People didn't want to spend money anymore because they were fucking afraid to spend money, plain and simple.
So you're
And
saying
then
that
Trump-
consumer confidence was down. Okay. Obviously,
Okay,
we
so,
saw a
all right, so
reduction.
my
Allow me to speak here. Obviously, we saw a reduction in consumer confidence when 500,000 Americans died of a pandemic. Okay? Now, this happened globally. This wasn't isolated to America, but you should thank Biden for increasing consumer confidence faster than any other country in the G7 comparatively. His administration did the best out of the leaders of any other country in the world to rebound us from those negative effects onset by the pandemic. And I'm going to prove my argument by asking you, well, if I'm wrong here, if it wasn't COVID that caused these negative economic effects, then what did Biden do to cause them? And you will never be able to answer that question because Biden did nothing bad for the American economy. He only
What
did
I'm going to
good.
do is just agree. I'm going to agree with you so I can get to another point, okay? All right. Why is it that a lot of you Democrats support the mutilation of minors, cutting off their private parts? And also, why do you support...
Wait. I have a question. Are you against circumcision?
No, I'm not talking about circumcision.
Got it. And by the way, no Democrat supports cutting off the private part of a minor. No one. No one. No one. Not one person.
Not one person, huh?
Yeah, you're hanging out in a stream right now with 11,000 people on TikTok, 2,000 people on YouTube.
Why did they
Real quick,
support?
Is there one moment? Is there any Democrat in here that supports that? Right now, everyone is saying no.
So then, why is it such a big thing with the Democrats?
Oh, something else that you said there was, well, then why do Democrats support men going in like women's spaces?
Right.
Oh, that's something you support.
I don't support men being allowed to go into a women's bathroom.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Why
do.
would I support that?
Because you
Why
support
would I
Donald J.
support
Trump.
a
I'll
man
tell you.
dressed as a woman?
Wait, 1 second. 1 second. Not a man dressed as a woman. No. I'm saying a man like you are me. And first and foremost,
that's
I
what
know
I'm
that you're
talking
talking
about.
about trans women here. Trans women are
Right.
not men.
And
Now,
they're
if you want
not
to talk
trans-
about
they're not
no. If you want to talk about men going into women's spaces, the only person in the room here that supports that is you. Why do I say that? Because Trump has boasted about not just walking into women's bathrooms, but actively perving on undressed naked teenagers and adult women unconsensually in women's only spaces. So how can you sit here and tell me that
Why are
you
you
think
trying
Donald
to
Trump...
change it around?
Well, I'm not
Answer
changing
the
anything
question.
around. You said, do Democrats support men in women's spaces? I was like, no, that's something you support. It's not changing it around. It is directly responding to what you said. You said that Trump was the best president we've ever had. I'm going to go and roll you a clip.
About later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what-
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Do you still support him after hearing that? Do you still think he's the best president in American history after hearing that?
I'm joined now by the Democratic nominee for governor in Virginia.
I support him 100%.
So you support a man sexually exploiting teenage girls?
I support Trump 100%. What I don't support is women that men that have mental illnesses dressing up.
Okay. All right, man. Right. So you're not even going to respond to what you just heard. You just told us that you support Trump 100%, even though you just heard him boast about sexually exploiting and perving on naked teen girls and naked grown adult women unconsensually. First and foremost, trans women are women. Second of all, it's not a mental illness. There's not a single major or reputable institution in medicine or science that disagree. Third of all, we can't even talk about trans individuals on TikTok Live. You'll get banned for it, and I'll get banned for it too. Fourth of all, what fucking pedestal could you possibly possess to even begin a conversation about trans individuals? What pedestal could you possibly possess? You just told us that you support a man walking into women's only spaces, sexually exploiting teen girls, a literal predator. You just told us that you support a literal self-admitted predator, quote unquote, 100%. You raging, spineless, cult member hypocrite. Reevaluate your life choices. How could it have possibly gotten this bad for you? Think before you respond to what I just said. If you even can. I don't know if it's possible.
I love how you guys have to always mute people, because when they start getting a point across, you just have to mute and just talk, because all you want to do is hear yourself.
Well, the reason why I muted
it's
you is
actually
because you
fun.
started to talk about trans
And cringe as
individuals.
fuck.
That violates TikTok TOS. I had to mute you, or you would have
They're
gotten
not
flagged.
women.
You would
They
got...
have a penis.
Sir,
It's not
dude,
it's not a
I'm
woman.
literally telling you, you cannot talk about trans people on TikTok. You bring up trans people again, I'm going to be forced to kick you. It is TikTok's terms of service, sir. There's nothing I could do about it. Are my words being heard by you? Are they being heard? Are you hearing yourself? Now respond to what I said. Why are you so scared, little man? Why are you so scared, little man? Why are you going to ignore everything I said, little guy? Come on, bud. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself right now and respond to the fact that you're trying to demonize trans individuals. Meanwhile, you just got done telling us that you quote unquote 100% support a literal self-admitted predator that you heard boast about perving on the naked bodies of teens and women. Come on, little man. Do you know how to unmute yourself, or are you not intelligent enough to know how to do that either? Oh, I'll get really personal with you. I will. You know, the people say they want respectful debates. The people say they want Dean to be nicer. How could I possibly be nice to a person like this?
First of all, I wouldn't care if you were nice to me or not, because
So now respond to what I brought up about Donald Trump admitting to sexually exploiting and perving on naked teen girls. Why won't you address that?
You have a girlfriend?
I do have a girlfriend.
You do?
Why won't you address what Trump did? Address it right now.
Does Parker have a girlfriend?
Parker has a girlfriend, yes. Address what
they
Trump
really
said.
boys? Are they boys, or are they actual girlfriends?
Dude, you're doing the same thing that the last guest did. I know that you were in the queue. I'm just going to ignore that. Like, whatever. I'm going to ignore that. You're doing the same thing that the last guest did. For everybody watching that's been in here for like more than 10 minutes, what did you guys hear the last guest say? What did you guys see the last guest do? the constitutionalist guy. He came up here. Let me tell you a story. Don't interrupt me either. So, sir, the last guest came up here. Their name was Constitutionalists. Okay. And obviously, the first thing that I brought up to the guy whose name was Constitutionalist was that Donald Trump has explicitly violated the Constitution 5 or 6 times in the last 250 days. Were you here when I had that guest up?
I don't believe so.
You weren't here. Okay. Well, what happened with him is I brought up these 5 explicit things that Donald Trump has done in the last 250 days to violate the Constitution. And I was asking him, well, how do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump has done these things, given that your name is Constitutionalist? His response was to ignore me, ignore every word that I came out of my mouth, and attempt to pivot and change the conversation into something else, since he didn't have the required brain cells to conceive of a counter argument and he didn't want to lose. Okay, and my question to you is, why are you doing the same exact thing right now? Okay, because the words that are coming out of my mouth are clear. Okay, you brought up that you don't like men and women's spaces. I then played a clip of Donald Trump admitting to unconsensually going into a women and girl spaces and perving on naked, undressed teenagers in their spaces. Okay, and for the last 5 or so minutes here, I've been asking you to very specifically respond to that fact. Very specifically respond to the clip that I played. And every single time I've asked this
I will
of you,
respond to it.
and then
I
I've
will
given you the
respond.
mic, you haven't.
Okay. For one, he was on Howard Stern, right?
Right? He told this to Howard
Yeah.
Stern.
Yeah, and that was like live.
It
On a
was
live
live
show.
in 2005.
So maybe he was just joking about it.
Well,
Because
we
it was a
know.
Howard Stern.
Well, we know that he wasn't joking because point number 1, he said that he actually does this. And we also know that he wasn't joking because the women and girls that he did this to have testified that he's done it to them.
Have you ever said something that wasn't true?
Have I ever said something that wasn't true? I don't think I've ever said something that wasn't true, that if it were to be true, would make me a really bad person. No. Have you?
So
Have you
never
ever
told a
said
lie?
something really bad about yourself that wasn't true?
Yeah, I have. When I was younger.
Can you give me an example?
No.
No? Okay, then I don't think that you have. See? See, it's funny because, like your question, Dean, have you ever said something incredibly criminally insane about yourself that makes you look like a total POS that wasn't true? No, I haven't.
All right, let's get back to, I guess, Trump.
Yeah, so let's get back to how you support a president that openly boasted about perving on naked girls in their spaces. Why do you support a predator?
Well, why did you support Joe Biden when his daughter came out in a book saying that he would take showers with her and she was uncomfortable about it?
I'll happily respond to your claims about Ashley Biden.
You can't say it was
if you respond to what I asked about Trump. Because think about it this way, right?
I still support him, man.
Wait, so you support the fact that you support
still
Trump,
gonna
even though you
support him.
think he's a predator. Because
I don't think he's a predator because he's not. There's actually no proof that he's a predator.
the proof that he's a predator would be the fact that he
if there was
admitted.
actual evidence and solid proof, then yes, I wouldn't support him. But as of right now, there's no concrete proof. And if you could show me the actual concrete proof of him being a pedophile, okay, and him being a fucking predator, then I would love to see your proof because there's not. I'm waiting for it.
Okay.
Show me it.
So the first point of proof would
No
be,
hearsay bullshit. Actual proof.
So the first point of proof would be that he admitted to it. Okay, we just heard him admit to it on Howard Stern's radio show.
That doesn't
The
make
second-
him a pedophile, for one.
Sir, he admitted to unconsensually perving on underage teen girls. Makes him a predator. Absolutely. Then point number 2, a unanimous jury in a civil court ruled that he was guilty of graping E. Jean Carroll. Point number 3, on the Access Hollywood tapes in the early 2000s, he
Show me the
said,
proof of that with the graping.
For sure. Go on Google, type in
Show
Trump.
it. No. Show us on your little camera thing that you did where you pulled up that little paragraph. Show us that he was actually found guilty of that with those specific words of graping.
I'll do your homework for you, man. I don't think that you're able to do it yourself. I got you. Should it be my burden? I'd like to clarify. Should it be my burden? All that I should have to do is give you.
And that was a civil court, right? Was it a criminal court?
One second. I'm in the middle of. I'm in the middle of giving you proof.
I got you.
I shouldn't have to do your homework for you, sir. I really shouldn't. All right. Add source. Add image. Add select file. Can you read this for us? Can you read that for us? He's not gonna.
No, where's the
Can you read that?
Well, okay, which Trump?
Can
which
you read
judge,
that for us?
Which judge said that? For one, who was the judge that said that?
Let's see. Trump v. E. Jean Carroll, NY State Gov. The judge was. Let's go and pull it up here. Where's the name of the judge? Lewis Kaplan.
And was that a civil court or a criminal court?
A civil court.
Okay, so it's not criminal.
Right, it was civil.
Yeah. Why wasn't it in criminal court?
Because the criminal statute of limitations had expired.
But the statute of limitations didn't expire for the other ones, where with New York or whatever, the 32 counts.
Yes. Because those were actually committed the year before they were prosecuted. Or actually 4 years before they were prosecuted. Yes.
I call bullshit.
What do you mean you call bullshit? What specifically do you call bullshit on?
On the rape and shit.
Okay, so you're just saying I call bullshit. Do you have a brain?
Do you have a brain?
Yeah, I do. I do. Do you?
I'm pretty sure everyone in here has a brain, buddy.
I don't know. I'm unconvinced. I'm unconvinced that you have a brain. And the reason I'm unconvinced that you have a brain is because
you literally pulled up just some kind of bullshit.
Hey, pipsqueak, pipe down there, little bro. Thank you. So the reason why I'm are you talking to yourself in the mirror? Dude, listen, put pants on, sit down on your couch, get out of the bathroom, and stop looking at yourself in the mirror. Now, the reason I'm saying I'm not sure if you have a brain, right, is because I just gave you nearly every single resource that you would need to find this to be the case. I not only give you, right, a quotation and source referencing what the judge said, I not even gave you the name of the judge. I gave you the name of the suit. I told you where you could find the jury verdict form. I gave you a reference of the court documents, and then I answered every single follow-up question that you had, such as if it was a civil court or a criminal court, such as why she couldn't pursue criminal charges or why they could pursue criminal charges for the 34 felonies, and then you had absolutely no response but to call it BS.
Get over it. Trump actually won. Get over it.
Yeah. Is that what you do? Hey, my friend, how many continents are there?
Why don't you answer, Dean?
How many continents are there?
How many men have you slept with, Dean?
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
Answer it.
For sure, 0. How many continents are there?
You're actually funny, dude.
How many continents are there?
I'm not gonna lie, you're actually funny.
How many continents are there?
You tell me.
You don't know how many continents there are.
No, Dean, sorry, I don't.
You're an embarrassment of a man. We're going to move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. Let's go ahead and get them loaded up in here. And I'd like to clarify, he's not an embarrassment of a man because he doesn't know how many continents there are. He's an embarrassment of a man for everything else that he said. I want to make this clear. You are 110% an embarrassment of a man if you hear a clip of somebody admitting to sexually exploiting little girls, and then your response is to say that you support them 100%, and that is not enough evidence for you to believe that it actually occurred. You're an embarrassment of a man, right? If you look at a woman who didn't just accuse a man of rape, but got him found guilty in a court of law, and quote unquote, call BS with no reason whatsoever other than your own misogyny. Somebody in my YouTube comment section just said, "Lol, Dean, that was mean." It's honest. It's honest. Some of these extreme people call for extreme reactions. I am focused on attempting to have productive dialogue with the people that join the stream. Okay? Right? But there comes a point where it is not wrong of me to give a warranted extreme reaction to an extreme set of beliefs. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I support Trump as a president, not as a person. Let's just get that out of the way.
Okay, so why do you support him as president?
I think he's when I voted, and obviously, 2024 last year, I was looking for who I think could bring the America back to America, and not we're little kids over here trying to fight someone else's war.
Okay, so you think that Donald Trump was going to end wars?
No, I'm not saying. What? Wait, what?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to parse together what you're saying into an argument.
I
heard something about kids fighting wars.
Kids fight? No, I didn't say anything about kids fighting wars. I'm saying I want, when I voted, I wanted someone to bring the America back to America and not be little kids over here trying to fight someone else's wars.
Oh, okay. So then why do you support Trump given that he called for a regime change in both Iran and Venezuela?
Why do I support Trump? Because of what he did to Iran?
Yeah, he called for a regime change in Iran. He struck them. He said that we know where their leader is. We could take him out if we wanted to. I mean, just the other day, he had a Venezuelan boat. He called for a regime change down there too. And because he defunded Ukraine, that actually emboldened Russia to hit them the hardest they ever have in flaring and emboldening global tensions. And because of his further support for Israel, taking it a step further than the Biden-Harris administration did, it's just inflamed them to now pass legislation to illegally annex and claim the rest of the Gaza Strip, inflaming conflict in that region, while also furthering their ethnic cleansing to a level that we just simply didn't see under the Biden-Harris administration. So if you care about staying out of global conflict and keeping things cool and staying uninvolved, well, you definitely picked the wrong guy to achieve said goal.
Dean, this is not our war, though. Zelensky should have been a little bit smarter enough to maybe have an agreement with Trump and Putin.
Okay, well, actually, Zelensky has offered Putin 12 ceasefire and peace agreements. Putin has denied every single one of them.
So why do you think Trump and Putin met in Alaska?
Why do I think that Trump and Putin met in Alaska? Because Donald Trump promised to end the war on day one, and at that point, we were over 200 days into his term, so we wanted to try to do something, but of course he failed again. Not a big shocker, but hey, look what happened. No results.
Dean, we're not 200 days into... We're only a couple months in.
We are over 200 days into Donald Trump's second administration.
It's been what?
It is
8
September,
months?
It has been September. It's September 4th, so a little under 8 months. Months are 30 days, on average. Do the math.
Correct. Do you really think it's going to be done by day one, though?
Well, no.
If you know what...
No, obviously, he's not going to be able to end that on day one. So I have no clue why he'd promise it. He obviously just wanted to lie to you.
Because this goes under the person that Trump is.
Right. And this is bad fact.
He's cocky, and he's cocky. He's boastful. He's cocky. He's ignorant.
Well, I mean, in the context, so he promised that he's going to end that war on day one, but he didn't. So is he a liar or a failure?
It goes under, I think, cocky.
Well, no, it's either that he lied about wanting to end it on day one, or he failed at ending it on day one. So which one is it? Is he a liar or a failure?
No president was going to end it on day one, but okay,
You're not answering my question. Was he a liar or a failure?
Well, okay, we'll put him under liar if that makes
liar. Okay,
if that makes.
Great. Sounds good.
Any better.
Awesome. So the first thing that you said that he was going to bring America back to being America. What did you mean by that?
I feel like we're the little kids over here now. I feel like during Biden's term, we were kind of just. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
I felt like we were Ukraine's bitch.
Because of the money that we're sending to fund their military?
Yeah. And again, I know we have a contract with them. I know that.
Donald Trump resumed all of the military funding to Ukraine on July 11th. So are we Ukraine's bitch again now?
We it doesn't feel like it though.
But you told me the reason why we were is because he was funding their military, but we are again to the same degree.
I never said because he was funding the military.
Yes, you did. I asked you. Would you say that we were their bitch because we're funding their military? And you said yes. I could roll back the clip if you'd like. We have it on YouTube.
I said that we are Ukraine. I thought we were Ukraine's bitch during Biden's term.
Right, and why?
Because Biden and Zelensky never had conversations together. Zelensky was just taking advantage of Biden.
How was Zelensky taking advantage of Biden?
Because I just said.
Because they didn't talk? They talked.
Not in person. Not like they didn't meet like Trump and Zelensky did. Twice?
So wait. You'd say that we were their bitch because they didn't meet in person? And also, I'm pretty sure they did. I think they did meet in person, yeah.
Swear they did not, but hell, I might be wrong.
He met with Zelensky in Paris.
Then I'm wrong.
Okay. All right. So does this mean that you no longer support Trump?
Oh no, what?
I mean, you told us that you support him because under Biden we were Ukraine's bitch, right? So I mean, then I asked you why, then you said, well, it's because they never met. Now they did, meaning that in accordance with your view, we're no longer Ukraine's bitch. So then what is the reason why you support Trump? Let's hear it. Why do you support Trump?
Because I think he's bringing the America back to America, not just because of the whole Ukraine reason.
Thank you for the motorcycle. Sure. What is one thing that Donald Trump has done good for this country in the last 200 days?
Good that he's done with this country. I think, believe it or not, and you might obviously go down and hate me on this. I think sending the National Guard to these crime cities, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, he doesn't care about crime at all. I have a very compelling argument for you that he doesn't care about crime at all.
If he didn't care about crime, then why in the hell's our National Guard? And
great question. My response would be because he wants to be able to actuate upon the power vested in the executive branch of government. Having troops deployed in our cities, militarizing our National Guard on our citizens, is one way to gain more power and control over the people in the country. Now, the reason why I believe this explanation over the explanation that he just cares about crime is that he doesn't care about crime. One of the worst criminal offenses I can think that's occurred in the last 4 or 5 years would be the 77 pro-Trump rioters who tried to kill police officers on the Capitol at January 6th, right? Right? Now, Donald Trump let every single one of them out of jail and labeled them as patriots. Think DJ Rodriguez. DJ Rodriguez is somebody who tried to kill Officer Fanone on J6 by driving a stun gun into his neck, causing him to have a heart attack. Now, he admitted to this to the FBI, and he was locked up for 12 years, a 12-year sentence. But 4 years into that sentence, January 21st this year, Donald Trump gave him a full and complete presidential pardon and labeled him as a patriot. Right? Not to mention that Donald Trump himself is a 34-count felon that's also been held civilly liable for rape, that also doesn't want to release the Epstein files and hold the P3DOs accountable. In fact, yesterday, when we finally saw a push from some Republicans in Congress to get them released, Donald Trump said anybody in Congress who votes for the legislation to release them would be engaging in an act of hostility against the administration. Why would it be hostile to vote for transparency about the predators of this country so we could send them to jail?
again, this goes under the whole fucking person that Trump is. The whole government's fucking corrupt around that. Everybody's gonna get in trouble. Do you not realize that, Dean?
You're saying that they're saying that there's Democrats also? Yeah, there is. I realize that. Bill Clinton, for one. Lock him up. Bye, Bill. I don't understand why you can't do the same for Trump.
Trump can go bye-bye. Again, this goes under the person that he is. I don't give a shit about the person that Trump is. I just didn't think that fucking Kamala was the right one for the country at the time.
Okay. Well, you should care who your president is.
Well,
you
yes.
really should. You really should care who your president is. Now,
Okay,
even about
but
Harris. Now, please tell me how the prosecutor was worse than the 34-count felon that's pardoned violent offenders, is on the Epstein files, asked the FBI to redact his name, and is now actively considering an act of hostility to voice your opinion for the release of the files.
Are you asking me how I thought which one was better?
How about we
There's
just
so many
clear it up? Tell me how this country would be worse off today if Kamala Harris had won the election.
I don't think that I think countries would take advantage of her.
We already know that other countries are taking advantage of Trump. Putin took advantage of Trump. He disseminated Kremlin-funded propaganda in the American media ecosphere prior to the election in an attempt to convince the American public that we were sending too much money to Ukraine. Okay? Then because of that, Donald Trump saw that, then attempted to capitalize on it by running on said policy of defunding Ukraine, right? But then once he defunded Ukraine, it emboldened Russia. Russia stopped cooperating with Trump or Ukraine, then hit Ukraine as hard as they have since the beginning of the conflict. And to this day, there's still no resolution in sight. And Donald Trump has even come out and said, oh, well, I don't know. This isn't the Putin I used to know. Putin took advantage of him. So we already know that other world leaders have taken advantage of Trump. Who would have taken advantage of Kamala Harris?
Everyone, Dean. Everyone that you just stated.
I want you to give me a specific example.
Putin would have done the same shit to Trump that you were stating. That actually, it probably would have been worse.
Impossible.
It probably would have been really worse.
Impossible. Because Kamala Harris ran on continuing to fund Ukraine, and she explicitly said at the debate with Trump that she wanted Ukraine to win. Meanwhile, Donald Trump refused to say the same.
Because this should not be the first of our worries, Dean.
Well, I mean, now you're just trying to explain why Donald Trump was actually doing something good and getting taken advantage by Putin, instead of responding to the argument that I gave you to show you that Kamala Harris wouldn't have invited Putin to hang out in the presidential limo and defunded Ukraine so Russia could hit them harder.
She can say all the things she wants. Action's action.
Right. And the action of Trump compared to the actions of Kamala Harris before the election show that Trump was susceptible to Putin's manipulation, but not Harris. And why would you even assume that she'd be easy to take advantage of? She's been a lawyer for the last 30 years. Like, lawyers are like notorious for not being easy to take advantage of. Are you suggesting that she'd be easy to take advantage of merely because she's a woman?
No, not because she's a woman. I knew you were going to bring that up.
So then why would you suggest that she'd be easy to take advantage of?
Because you just brought up the lawyer, which actually that makes no fucking sense. The leader of the country, Putin. You don't think that Putin would play mind games with...
You're not answering my question. My question was, what about Kamala Harris would make it easy to take advantage of her? Be very clear in your response. We're not talking about Putin. We're talking about Kamala Harris. Be specific. What about Kamala Harris makes it apparently true that she would be easy to take advantage of?
She has no experience of being a leader of a country.
She served in all three branches of government. She served in her judicial branch as an AG of San Francisco, a DA of the state of California, and a senator of the state of California. That senator of California would fall into the next branch, which would be the legislative branch. She served as the senator of California, and then she served in the executive branch as Biden's vice president. So you're wrong. She has more experience in governmental leadership than Trump. And by the way, I bet if I were to ask you, would you support JD Vance as our next president? You would say yes, even though he's never served as president and he has less overall time in positions of leadership in the American government than Kamala Harris. And he left, just like the last two guests, folks. Woo! We're running through the Trump supporters today. Oh my goodness gracious. For everyone hanging out with us in here, for the nearly 4K people on YouTube, 12.5K people on TikTok, how are we feeling about the guests so far today? I don't know if it's just me, but I'm feeling like these people are rough today. These people are rough today. They are not taking an answer if that answer contradicts anything to do their bias for Trump. What's up? Are you MAGA? Are you MAGA?
I think they use politics to divide the people. That's what I believe.
Okay. Do you support Trump as president?
You know, man, I don't know what I support, but...
All right, my friend, then we're going to go to move on to the next guest, guys. Make sure that we're only in that queue if we do indeed support Trump as president. Make sure that we're only in that queue if we do indeed support Trump as president. We're going to go to get that next guest connected right now. Also, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal down below in my comment section, in my bio on TikTok. I'm actually going to start thanking a handful of people from over there right now while we get that next guest loaded up. Hey, Ducky, thank you for the $10 in Venmo, saying I just got a COVID test and it's positive. I feel like shit, but your lives make my day better. I'm sorry, Ducky. I hope that you feel better soon. As well as DeAndre with a 5 saying Aaron was on Parker's live last night. Aaron Parnas, what did he go up there to talk about? Or the last guest, his name was probably Aaron. Thank you for the $5, DeAndre. What's going on? Do you support Trump, RJ? RJ, my friend, you here? Okay, it doesn't look like our friend RJ is here, so we're going to move on to the next guest. If you are a Trump supporter and you want to very quickly come up into the live and have a conversation with us, go ahead and let me know down below in that comment section. We'll get you loaded in. We are only looking to talk to American adults that are for Trump. As well as Beth with the $10 on Venmo. Beth says, I love how you match the energy of your guests, and thanks for standing up for women and trans people. Well, appreciate you for the love, Beth, and I do match the energy. That is true. What's up, Tim? Are you MAGA?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
40.
Great. Let me think. 2 more people here. Isis, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Isis. As well as, hey, oh my goodness, Peter, my man. Thank you so much for the $100 donation over on Venmo. Peter, that is so much money. Thank you so much for your kindness, bro. I do not deserve a penny of that. That is so kind. For everybody watching, please show Peter some love in the comment sections. While we're hopping into this next debate with Tim, let's get 1,000 Peter W's. Peter says for putting this disgusting MAGA cult member in his place, and that was in reference to the guest before last. Peter, you are the man. Thank you so much for the $100, my friend. That is so incredibly kind. W Peters all day, every day, folks. And Mr. New Guest, Tim, take it away. Why do you support Trump?
I support Trump for everything he's doing for our country, cleaning up our southern border, locking shit down, and cleaning house.
Awesome. Are you driving?
No.
All right, could you disconnect me from your car's mic? You could do that by swiping down in the top right-hand corner of your phone and turning the Bluetooth off. It'll make our conversation about 1 billion times more pleasurable, as we'll be able to hear you significantly better. And while you're doing that, Nicole, I thought I'd also like to ask you, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Nicole. As well as, let's see here, Ellen, thank you for the $10. Over on PayPal, Ellen with the $10 on PayPal says, why is it always the fuck your feelings crowd that continuously says, I feel when they're talking to you? They don't make sense. Ellen, I agree. They make no sense at all. Also, quickly, Dino Nuggets 420. Thank you for the $20 on Super Chat, saying there's 3.4K people watching the YouTube, but not even close to that number of likes. Please like this stream. You know what, Dino? W's to you for the $20 donation and for the call out. If you're on YouTube, make sure to drop a like on that stream. And in response to you, Mr. Tim, you told us that you support what Donald Trump has been doing with the southern border. Let's talk about it. Tell me the policy that he's implemented in the last 200 days to reduce entries.
I don't know if I can tell you the exact policy, but I know the number of entries has dramatically decreased from the millions that we're pouring in with Biden.
Agreed. They have decreased by like 97%. And I wouldn't be able to name the policy either. Now, the reason why I wouldn't be able to name the policy is because I don't think it's policy that's reduced entries. I think it's fascism. Immigrants come to this country, both legal and illegal, to get a better life. But Trump has been convincing them that they're going to have a worse life because right now he is violating both the constitutional and human rights of the undocumented immigrants that are already in the country.
A better life, that's okay.
No, because you robbing a bank would cause harm onto others, and you're drawing on the wrong part of my statement.
How would that cause harm?
You're drawing on
how would that cause harm to others?
Intimidation upon the bank tellers. If you come in with a weapon, unforeseen consequences on all those around you. People think they might lose their lives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you're honing in on the wrong thing of what I just said right there. We'll talk about the morality of undocumented entry into the country next. Keep in mind, the point that I wanted to make there is that Donald Trump hasn't been able to reduce undocumented entry with good policy. He's reduced it with fascism by convincing undocumented immigrants that if they come into this country, they'll have a worse life by violating the constitutional and human rights of those that are already in the country. After we finish out this subject, then we can move on to my thoughts about the morality of undocumented entry. Feel free to unmute. Tim, click on your profile picture, click the icon on the mic right now. Nobody could hear you. Tim, I'll be out. There you go.
We're back.
All right. Please respond to what I said.
About the morality of it or the fascism part?
Okay. My point was clear. You said that you like how Donald Trump has been handling the southern border. I responded by saying he hasn't been able to reduce entry with good policy. He's reduced entry with fascism. Then I brought up how he's scaring entry away by violating both the constitutional and human rights of undocumented immigrants that are already in this country. I'm not going to repeat it for the fourth time.
What has been violated with what fear?
For sure. Well, he violated the constitutional right to due process of droves of Venezuelan immigrants when he deported them to El Salvador against the withholding order.
Why were they here to begin with?
Okay.
Were they here legally or illegally?
Sir, what you're not going to do is you're going to ask me two questions at once. You're not going to do that, my friend.
It's the same question. Were they legal or illegal?
So asking the question if they have legal residency in America is not asking the same question. Did Donald Trump violate their rights?
Were they here illegally or
yeah, they were.
legally?
They were undocumented immigrants. But even undocumented immigrants have
so they committed a
rights.
crime to come to the U.S.
They committed a misdemeanor. Yeah.
It's a crime. A misdemeanor is a crime.
Misdemeanors are crimes. You're right.
Okay. They have no right in this country illegally.
That's actually not true. Per the Constitution, they have plenty of rights. Because per the Constitution, constitutional rights are not just given to citizens.
They have limited rights. They don't.
Even about limited rights, technically, no. They don't technically have limited rights, as the third section of the 14th Amendment would apply to them, which would be the Equal Protections Clause. So they are equally protected under the eyes of the laws as citizens. And the only difference in the protections would be, of course, that citizens are protected against removal. Meanwhile, undocumented immigrants are not, per Article 3, subjugating authority to the executive branch of our government to oversee immigration.
So they're not protected against removal.
Yeah, that's why mass deportation is legal. However, what is illegal is to remove them without due process, as they are protected under the 2nd, 1st, 3rd, and 4th section of the 14th Amendment. And one of the many examples of Donald Trump violating the constitutional rights of undocumented immigrants would be removing them without due process.
I mean, I guess I'm getting over my head with the whole due process because I'm not 100% clear on it. But bottom line, in the eyes of many MAGA and many people, you commit a crime, whether it's coming to the country illegally or you steal a candy bar from the gas station, they're both misdemeanors. Mm-hmm. You get locked up, you get deported, you have consequences for doing something illegal. You come into the country illegally, you pay the consequences of going back to where you came from.
Point number one, you don't always think that people that commit crimes are supposed to see consequences. For instance, you were literally rewarded a 34-count felon by making them president. And point number two, you could only experience consequences for your crime given that they're legal. right? Right? You can't illegally provide consequences for somebody. If you steal a candy bar, right, from a gas station, you can't turn around and kill them in the middle of the street. Just like if you can commit a misdemeanor for undocumented entry into this country, you can't be illegally deported in violation of withholding order to be beaten and tortured in CICA in El Salvador for 3 weeks, like Abrigo Garcia was by the Trump administration.
No, he wasn't.
He was, per an April 10th ruling from SCOTUS, when they called the Trump administration, or they said the Trump administration had illegally removed him, violating his constitutional rights.
He was here illegally.
Okay, you already know that.
He has.
Well, I mean,
he has a
kind
rap.
of.
He has a rap sheet as a Venezuelan gang member.
Okay, no, he doesn't.
has
He does
a
not have a.
criminal record.
Wait, he does not have any rap sheet as a Venezuelan gang member. How much money do you want to bet?
He has a criminal record with no gang ties.
Oh, he also has
Yes,
no.
he does.
He also has no criminal record in America either. In fact, you could read the SCOTUS ruling from April 10th, where they even affirm that. The last paragraph on the first page of their ruling literally concludes with the fact that Abrigo Garcia has no criminal record inside of this country. Wrong again. Wrong again. How does it feel, Tim?
What does so if he has a criminal record outside of this country, it's okay? It makes him a better person?
He doesn't even have a criminal record outside of this country either. You know who does have a criminal record inside of this country? Trump.
No.
Yes.
On a bunch of Trump phony charges.
What were they?
The 34 counts of
what?
Whatever the bullshit was in New York.
What were they? What was the bullshit?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm losing the word. Not money laundering, but whatever is the banking scheme they tried getting him for, where the bank said that they wanted to do business with him again because he paid back his loan.
And thank you for the galaxy. Ooh, you're wrong. So you're referencing civil adjudication that was in New York 3 years prior. And you're confusing the civil adjudication
now you say there's a difference between
felonies.
civil. Now there's a difference between civil and criminal.
I'm just saying that
right?
there's a difference between the adjudication that you're referencing to do with the overestimation of property value to a bank and the conviction of 34 felonies.
What were the 34 felonies?
Well, that's a question that I asked you. If you don't know, feel free to tell me that.
I don't know.
If you don't know what they are, then why did you say they were trumped up? That's pretty disingenuous, my friend.
Because I guess I made the assumption that those 34 were from the shit, the banking shit.
Yeah.
I thought they were all tied into the same
So
thing.
he was found guilty of 34 counts of falsification of business records with an intent to conceal a second crime.
Which stemmed from
sleeping with Stormy Daniels prior to the 2016 election, then giving her hush money to not go public about it, as he was concerned that that would sway the outcome of the election.
Well, you listen to the whore who said that they didn't sleep together, and then
What? Wait. Well, first and foremost, you shouldn't call anybody that. But who are you calling that?
Stormy Daniels.
Okay.
Wasn't that not?
So so no, you shouldn't call any woman that. That's incredibly misogynistic. And second of all, what does calling Stormy Daniels a WHORE have like any bearing or relation to his 34 felonies? Right? Like, don't call her that. Don't call any woman that. It's very disrespectful. It's very misogynistic. But what relevance does this have to the 34 felonies?
What'd you ask?
Well, I said two things. First thing I said was don't call her that, disrespectful and misogynistic. And the second thing was, what possible relevance would you calling Stormy Daniel, a WHORE, have to do to his 34 felonies?
Well, you have to take into account somebody's character if you're going to demean Trump's character.
Well, now I got to kick you because you just got a flag for bullying. All right, we're going to move on to the next guest. Guys, we've been live for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm already worn out. I'm not going to lie, guys. I am already worn out. I am already worn out, my friend. My friends. I'm already worn out. I don't know what's going on in the air today. These Trump supporters today are nuts. These Trump supporters are nuts. Wow, we are going on a marathon with like the craziest Trump supporters of all time today. It's been back to back to back crazies. God, the things I'll do for you guys. This is definitely it. This is definitely difficult, let me tell you. We're going to go to get that next guest call and loaded up in here. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. Let's go to get that next guest connected literally right now, as well as Philip. Thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo.
Well, hello there.
What's up, man?
Hey.
Give me a second. Philip with the $25 says, "Oh, Dean, I love it when you could actually hear the MAGA brain gears grind to a halt. Tim, dude, had to take 5 minutes and educate yourself before embarrassing yourself." Well, I appreciate you for the $25, Philip, and it is satisfying to hear their brains come to a halt. I can't agree. Nadia, thank you for the galaxy as well. For everyone hanging out with us on TikTok and YouTube, show some love to Philip down below in that chat. As well as Derek, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Derek says, "I work a blue-collar job and I'm surrounded by MAGA. Your debates really help me feel like I'm not ganged up on. Much love, Dean." I know how it feels, Derek. I live in a 75% Republican town. Also, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok or in that pin message on YT. 100% of those proceeds go to me compared to like 33% on TikTok. And you could add any and all messages and I'll read them off on live, and it greatly supports me and what we do here. Anyways, Colin, what's up? Are you MAGA?
Yes.
Okay, can you disconnect any and all Bluetooth devices, headphones, headsets, earbuds, AirPods that you have plugged in?
Hear me now?
Much better, man. Take it away. Why do you support Trump?
All right. So I support Trump because I think that that it doesn't matter as much what political leader you have in office. I had a couple questions for you because I know.
Wait, were you saying that you support Trump as president because it doesn't matter who our president is? I very hardly disagree. I think that the lives of the 10 million people that are losing access to healthcare in America today, directly consequential of Donald Trump's policy, matter.
No, look, I really care about the content that you put out there and stuff like that. And I think that there's obviously good political officers that could be in office. The reason why I wanted to talk to you was to make sure that you're a reliable guy. Now, okay, it's a very difficult climate for politics these days. There's a lot of different people that are saying a lot of different things, influential. You have Charlie Kirk, you have Ben Shapiro, but you tend to go through this phase of good cop, bad cop, where you have people that end up becoming very influential and that start like preaching their politics and stuff like that. And eventually, even though they start off from good grounds, they end up getting paid off and end up just like sucking up to whatever ideology came from. Like,
do you think
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I just want to make sure that you're a reliable guy. I honestly really look up to you. I think like you're really cool. You have good points. You're interesting. I just want to make sure, hey.
Listen. The only people I'm paid by are those that voluntarily support me on Venmo and PayPal.
Okay. And so, like, where do you, so you keep talking about it. You're always like, oh, Kamala this, Kamala that. I just want your stance on, like, well, what do you think?
We're going to move on to the next guest just because we're looking to debate people on why they support Trump. Everyone, give us a minute. We got Here Comes the Sun 200 loading in right now. As well as Tamir, thank you for the $5 on, $15 over on PayPal. Show some love to Tamir down below. Thank you so much. Tamir says, point number 1, you were 100% invited to the cookout. Thank you for the love, Tamir. Show some love to Tamir down below. As well as Mark, thank you for the $17 on PayPal. Mark says, have a great stream. I hope, I wish you some quality debates. Let's hope. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see that, but thank you for the love. Nonetheless, Mark, that is incredibly kind of you. Let's get 200 Mark W's. And then Molly with a 10 saying, a late birthday shot on me. Thank you for trying to educate the ignorant. Thank you, Molly. Let's get 100 Molly W's, as well as 100 Igna W's. That is INGA with the $10 on Venmo saying, as always for the fake job. Let's go, W fake job. Allison with a $10 saying Kirk is coming to Liberty University in October. Please come, please. What state is Liberty University in, Allison? But thank you for the 10. As well as Condra with a 12. Thank you so much. Condra says, you are a saint. Thank you so much for the love, Condra. It's good to see you again, Condra. You're always hanging out with us in here. Thank you so much for your kindness. Show some love to Condra down below in that comment section while we're looking for that next Trump supporter to come up here and have a debate with us. Thank you guys so much for the love. Moving on. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Hi, yeah, I do.
Awesome. How old are you?
46.
46, and what time is it?
I'm not American, I'm UK.
All right, no worries. I'm not going to ban you because my rules aren't up on screen, but we are only specifically looking to talk to American adults that support Trump. Keep that in mind when you hop in that queue, everyone. Keep that in mind when you hop in the queue. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go.
Hold on!
Hi, do you support Trump? I don't think they do. A good day. Good day. Good day. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, Tatum. Also, hey, if you are a MAGA woman watching right now and you want to come up and debate me, put MAGA in that comment section with your age and we'll get you up here. We've been talking to men all day. Let's try to get a woman up here. What's up, Tatum? Do you support Trump? Tatum's not here either. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Make sure we're in that queue that we are aware and present. Put a Trump with your age in that comment section if you're a MAGA woman, okay? Do we have a single MAGA woman in here out of the 12,000 people watching? Let me know. Seriously, let me know down below in that comment section. Let me know down below. There's honestly not too many people like chatting right now. There's not too many people hanging out with us down below. Okay. None. There's literally none. There's literally no one. There's no one. There's no Trump supporting gals in the live today. How crazy. Let's go to move on to the next guest. We're going to go to get them pulled up here right now. Hey, Kirby, thank you so much for the $7 on PayPal. But Kirby says, would you consider a prompt, quote unquote, how Trump is showing signs of a dictator or something like that? You know what? I have been considering like slightly different variations of what we already talk about. Similar to that. That's a good idea. What's up? Do you support Trump? Anonymous
I
Zoom?
do.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19. What year were you born in, my friend?
2006.
2006. Perfect. Let me thank two people. First and foremost, Between Realms. Thank you for the $25 donation over on PayPal. I appreciate you for your contribution. Realms says, critical thinking rocks. Continue doing what you're doing. Thank you. Let's get 250 Realms W's alongside 100 Megan W's with a $10 saying, me and my dad are tuning in. Please come to MN when Charlie Kirk is here. Unfortunately, Megan, I don't know if I'll be able to make my way up there. Best of luck, though. But thank you for the $10 and take it away, Anonymous Zoom. Why are you MAGA?
Yeah, I would say, I guess immigration. That's a good point, right?
I think his immigration policy is some of his worst. Why don't we start with mass deportation? Name one materially positive outcome of mass deportation on this country.
Oh, no, I don't. So I'm not talking about mass deportation. I'm talking about specifically the border.
Like reducing
Border
undocumented
security.
entry? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, the mass deportation is like the big immigration policy we've seen from the administration. So if you don't support that, I don't see how you could support his immigration policy as a whole. I'll entertain the concept nonetheless. What good border policy has Trump implemented?
He did the executive order on his first day. That was pretty good.
What did it do?
He, like the specifics of it, you mean?
Yeah.
Shit, I have to look it up, but I know that he made it more secure by adding, I think, more border agents. He also just cut down the crossings as well, and he reduced the encounters.
Well, the way I think that he significantly reduced the crossing is by scaring their entry away by, as I told the last guest, violating both the human and constitutional rights of undocumented immigrants that are already in this country, which I'd say is a bad thing.
Wait, just give me 1 sec. I gotta connect something.
What do you gotta connect?
Just my headphones. Hold on.
If you talk to me without them, I swear to God, you'll sound about 1 billion times more clear.
Do I sound good?
Yeah.
Still?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, hold on. I need to look up his executive order. Like, you want me to show you what specific things he did to
Can you respond to my
increase the
last
security?
point, though? I said I think what it's been driving a massive reduction in undocumented entry was those two things that I just pointed out. Could you respond to that?
What was it? You said that he was scaring them away, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
By violating both the human and constitutional rights that are of those that are already in the country.
Are you talking about, what's that dude's name? That Garcia dude?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the instances I'm talking about, for sure.
Was he some gang member or what exactly?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, even if he was, you'd still.
No, I'm just asking
rights.
you. Just
And second of all, we don't have sufficient reason to conclude that. I do not believe.
Okay, I thought that he had tattoos, gang tattoos or something.
No.
No, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can say that, they may have done some bad things. I would probably agree with that, but
right. And I think it's
overall
these bad
it's
things that
pretty
has
good.
reduced undocumented entry. And my reason for that is that we haven't just seen a reduction in undocumented entry. We've also seen a reduction in tourism, travel for business and leisure, and overall traveling to America has just been a lot less appealing because of the human and constitutional rights violations of immigrants in the country. Right. I mean, I think now we are actually on the UN Rights Watch because of what Donald Trump has been doing to Venezuelan immigrants he's been deporting without due process, having Abreu Garcia beaten and tortured, propping up Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days where they were being served one meal a day with maggots in it, but then a judge ruled last month that it had to be shut down. All right, this is what is reducing the entry, and that's very bad.
Well, the whole mass deportation thing, just to talk about that just real quick, he's not actually doing that. It's more just so him increasing border security.
He's
the
actually
encounters were reduced.
He's actually doing a mass deportation. That is true. I
No,
mean,
he's not, dude. They literally stopped posting the deportation numbers. It's so low.
My friend, if you don't believe that he's trying to do mass deportation, I'm going to remove you from the live because this is something that he campaigned on before he won the election.
Serious?
Yeah, I am serious.
I
Because
know
this
he
is something
did.
that he campaigned on before the election, and this has been something that he's talked about nearly every week since he won the election. And if you're on Donald Trump's email list, well, you would have got emails from him like I do, talking about how, he wants to get every undocumented immigrant out of the country. This has been like one of the main things that he's ran on and been doing since the beginning of his term. Like under the big, beautiful bill, they increased funding to ICE another $150 billion to hire more agents to do more deportations. If you go to Homeland Security's Twitter account, every single day they're posting these dystopian graphics trying to get young white guys to join their police force to deport more people.
No, I totally agree that he says the whole mass deportation thing. I'm not rejecting that, but I'm just saying that he's not actually doing it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so you're just saying that he's failing at the border security. So you're saying that he's failing at the goal that he set out, but even in failing with the numbers that he is achieving with his removals, this doesn't negate the fact that a lot of those have been illegal per the information that I've already shared with you that you so quite frankly ignored.
Okay, so what? You care about the Constitution or something?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so then what? Do you care about free speech?
I do. And Donald Trump actually infringed upon your free speech.
Interesting.
When a week ago, he attempted to ban burning of the American flag, even though SCOTUS case upheld in the late 80s, that was protected under symbolic speech per the First Amendment. How do you feel about Donald Trump infringing upon your free speech? The better question would be for me to ask you that. Do you care about the Constitution, and do you care about free speech?
No, I don't really care about the Constitution because really you look at the founding of America, it was just it's just vastly different to what it is today. You're really going to say that the First Amendment was written for, non-whites or something?
What?
Because they were literal slave owners, dude. And you're saying they wrote the First Amendment for non-whites? Like, that's just not true. So that's why I'm not for the Constitution. It's just incredibly racist,
Oh, you think that the Constitution is racist?
Well, yeah, the founding of it, you don't think it was exclusionary?
Of course, it was incredibly exclusionary. But I have a
Exactly,
question.
so
What are
we
the
don't care about the
13th, 14th,
Constitution.
and 15th Amendments?
The abolition of slavery?
The ones to prevent said exclusion. The reason why I care about the
Okay, but
Constitution today
it wasn't founded
is
on
because
that,
it
though.
guarantees us natural rights. And per the text of the Constitution and its current interpretation, it attempts to do so in a non-exclusionary manner. Now, if there is any exclusion that's introduced via the Constitution, such as not protecting women's access to abortion under the Privacy Clause of the 14th, well, then what we need to do is either pass a new amendment or more congressional policy. But the Constitution as a whole is something that we should all care about, and not to mention that it is a living, breathing document that is alive today per the interpretation from SCOTUS and per Congress's ability to ratify and change it. Right? You should care about the 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote. You should care about the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment ending slavery and legally mandating equality. You should care about these inalienable rights. Why don't you?
No, I think you're missing my point. What I'm saying is that if we can just change the Constitution, right? If we can just take something like the First Amendment and then we can just drastically change it to what the founders originally intended, then the Constitution is kind of arbitrary.
What interpretation of the Constitution do we operate off of? The founders or the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court.
There you go.
Right now, yeah, the Supreme Court.
There you go.
No, but I'm saying is that, yeah, I know, but if you're like, do you really think that when they were writing the First Amendment, they wanted to have like non-white, like specifically black people, the black slaves, to have the same rights as they did when they were writing the amendments?
No, obviously
Initially,
they didn't want that, because in the initial articles of the Constitution, they included the fugitive slave clause, which then legally mandated you to return escaped slaves. So obviously the Constitution at its conception was an incredibly racist, bigoted document. However, because of the changes that we've seen through the amendments through Congress, new federal policy, and of course interpretations from SCOTUS, I believe that the Constitution is incredibly has made great strides towards more equality for everyone. Right, such as the Third Amendment of the 14th Amendment.
Sure.
The third section of the 14th guaranteeing equal protections. The 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote. Or the 13th, 14th, and 15th ending slavery.
Well, again, you're kind of missing my point here. What I'm saying is that you always talk about the Constitution and how you care about it. And you're like, oh, well, it's the Constitution, the First Amendment. And it's like, okay, well, when we look at the Constitution, it's always changing. And when you say that you care about the Constitution, what you mean is that you care about your Constitution and what you personally agree with. So if the Supreme Court, because you think that they're the authority, if the Supreme Court just suddenly decided that, I don't know, we're going to repeal like the 19th or just anything, right? Something that you don't agree with, you will disagree with that and you will say, no, that's wrong. That's my point. So that's why I don't say, oh yeah, I care about the Constitution or my constitutionalist. Like, I don't give a shit about that.
The Constitution guarantees things that you care about. Like, for instance, do you personally care about like a right to vote inside of a functioning democracy for everybody?
No, I don't think everyone should vote.
Wait, so like,
I don't think that's...
Wait, do you like care specifically about women's right to vote? Like, would you care about us like taking away women's right to vote, only allowing men to vote?
I don't think that it would be like a good idea to just make only men vote.
So would that be bad? Okay, well, guess what? You should care about, then specifically, you should care about the 19th Amendment of the Constitution because it prevents that. So even,
I'm not even talking.
Yes, you should, okay. Because what it is doing, it is acting.
Well, you're not letting me finish.
It is. So what the Constitution would be doing here, it would be preventing some like grave immoral thing that you think is gravely immoral, right? So this is why you should care for.
That's just your opinion.
This is actually your
own subjective opinion.
This would actually be your subjective opinion. I asked you if it would be wrong if only men could vote, and you said yes.
You asked me if it was wrong? Okay.
Right. And then I demonstrated to you,
didn't hear you right?
How the 19th Amendment would like stop that from potentially occurring, meaning that you should care about it.
Yeah, if I could answer that. I only think that certain people should actually vote. I don't think that the average person should be voting.
You don't think that the average American should be voting?
No, do you? You think that the average American is smart and they're very well informative and all these things? Like,
I definitely don't think that you're smart or well informed. Does that mean that you shouldn't be voting?
Me? Shit, I mean, in principle, low-key, I probably shouldn't vote. Yeah, my right should be taken away. But
and then also, I have another question for you. So you said that you care about slavery and racism, yeah?
I mean, I don't know if I said those words.
Yeah,
I don't think I said those words.
You said that you don't care about the Constitution because you think the founders of the Constitution intended it to be incredibly racist. One of the very obvious implications.
No, I'm just saying I don't
care about slavery and racism.
No.
And wait. If you don't say those words, hello? Wait, what the fuck is going on? I'm so sorry. Why? I just got like mental rotted and I just went into like debate bro mode. Slow down. Do you or do you not care about slavery and racism?
I don't think that we should have slavery. Yeah, sure.
So you think that slavery is bad? You think that racism is bad?
Well, by racism, you just mean hatred of racial groups. Yeah, sure. I think that's bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. So point number one, I can't believe I got.
Are you talking about race realism, or
point number
when you say
one-
racism, you talking about?
Point number one, I think it's absolutely hilarious that I got you to concede that you shouldn't be able to vote. And point number two, now that you've agreed that slavery and racism is bad, how do you feel about Donald Trump going to the Smithsonian and getting them to take out a lot of their content surrounding the history of slavery and racism in America, even suggesting on Truth Social that it's woke to think slavery was bad?
Wait, what did Trump do? You said he.
Yeah, he
I didn't
posted
hear
on
that.
Truth Social saying that it's that we need to take all the woke shit out of the Smithsonian, including shit about how slavery was bad.
Smithsonian?
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian. I've actually never heard of about that. What is Smithsonian?
It's a group of museums in Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay. My bad. So what are they? Is it Black History? Is that what it is?
Yeah, one of the museums would be the African American History Museum, and he says that it's really woke and that we should stop talking about how slavery was bad.
Okay. Why would he say that? What was the context behind that?
Delusion.
Okay, see, that's why then. See, Trump is an old man. He says a lot of things. So, that's why I don't take anything, all the things he says seriously.
Well, you should take this seriously because he's a president.
It's not like he can do anything about it, dude. I mean, what is he gonna do?
It's not like he could do anything about it.
He just says stuff, bro. He got his assistant.
I have a question. How many branches of government are there?
3.
What are they?
Judicial, executive, and legislative.
Okay, and what is election day in America?
What?
What is election day in America? When did you vote for Trump?
Oh, it was on 6th of November.
Okay. The only reason I asked those questions is because you said you didn't know what the Smithsonianism is. Smithsonian museum.
I don't go outside. I'm an incel, so I don't go outside.
Right. Oh.
I'm like an antisocial incel.
Also, something else I'd like
Yeah.
to bring up here. So Donald Trump has praised the founders of the Constitution. In fact, his whole movement is Make America Great Again, referencing the foundation of this country. So earlier you were telling us that you thought that they were all bigoted racists, and that's why you don't like the document that they made of the Constitution. But Donald Trump has praised them. So you think that Donald Trump has praised bigoted racists? Then how could you support him?
No, I think you keep missing my point. So I'll try to explain.
I'm going to need you to respond to
differently.
that point. No. You made that point clear that you think they were all just like terrible, bigoted racists. Donald Trump has praised them, so why would you support him?
No, I'll explain it. Don't worry. My whole point with the Constitution was just that the people who wrote it, they were, slave owners. They did all these things. And it was kind of like an internal critique on your end that like you would view them as these racists, these bigots, these slave owners, these racists. And so like you don't care. And honestly, I don't care either. Like neither of us care. It's just that you pretend that you do. That's it.
So basically,
I don't care about the Constitution.
So basically, you're saying that you don't care that they were bigoted racists? That you don't view them that way?
No, I didn't. No,
so do you view them that way? Do you view them that way? Do you view the founders of the Constitution as the bigoted racist slave owners they were?
Well, they were slave owners, were they not? Yeah.
Right. So you do. So Donald Trump has praised them. Why do you support Trump if he's praised bigoted racist slave owners?
You talking about the founders, right?
Right.
Yeah, we can acknowledge that they may have done bad things, but they're also the founders, and they're very important to American history. So I don't think that we should destroy their statues or burn their documents or things like that. I think we should keep their history alive.
So I'm in the wrong for valuing the Constitution as it would exist today, because the people that originally drafted it in its first 10 amendments 200 years ago were slave owners, but Trump's not in the wrong for praising who they were 250 years ago today. Interesting. Very interesting.
I'm only calling you on your hypocrisy. That's all I'm doing.
There's no
I'm just saying that you don't actually care about the Constitution.
There's no
because you don't actually care about the Constitution.
I do care about the Constitution, as the Constitution would protect.
You don't,
my
because it's
demons' natural
constantly
rights.
changing. Dude, it's constantly changing. And if the Supreme Court says something that you disagree with, you would disagree with it.
The nature of the Constitution changing doesn't reject or falsify the fact that I value the Constitution as the Constitution would protect inalienable natural rights. I could go over them if you'd like. Like, for instance, I think that the protections under the 14th Amendment to due process, right, is in a protection of a human right. I think that due process protects your human rights, because if you're not granted due process, then you're telling me that I could be sentenced to death for something that I didn't do, and there's no exploration of truth to determine that I did it, right? And so that constitutional right of due process helps prevent against that. And I very much so do value that.
All right. Anyways, well, you want to talk about a different topic? This is kind of boring.
So now when I give you an explanation of why I value the Constitution, because it protects inalienable natural rights that I find important, not just for me, but for everybody in society as a whole, now you want to move on.
Well, you think it's all subjective. You're an atheist, right? So it's not some objective thing. When you say rights, that's not something that's true.
So now you're refuting my claim on the basis of my metaethical theory. Sounds like you've bowed out of the debate, my friend.
I don't really know philosophy. I don't like reading.
I could tell. So do you want to respond
what is
to
that?
my argument?
What's that supposed to mean?
It means I could tell that you're incredibly uneducated, and you're incredibly pompous in the fact that you likely think that you're educated and think that you don't even need to do the reading to begin with, and that's been made clear this whole time. So now that I made that clear,
that's a projection. I never said that.
Well,
I'm actually a very humble person. I think.
Well, see, the thing is I never accused you of saying that. I think that we could all infer this based upon the way that you've been engaging in this conversation.
You did. You just said it right now.
I didn't say that you've said this. I said that I've inferred this based upon the things that you've said. There's a big difference there. But once again, I gave you an argument to demonstrate why I care about the Constitution, and you should too, as the Constitution would protect inalienable and natural rights, and then you just merely responded to that by saying that metaethically I'm a subjectivist. So what does my metaethical framework have to do with an argument normatively insofar as why I do value the Constitution?
Well, you're talking about rights. I mean, again, you should probably debate Andrew Wilson on this, but you keep dodging him, even though he offered $10,000.
Okay.
But
so now you're saying,
yeah,
so
you
now,
believe
so,
like in
so
these
now,
rights.
wait. So now you're saying.
Oh, I'm being interrupted.
So now you're saying that I'm dodging Andrew Wilson. So what is your accusation that I'm apparently dodging Andrew Wilson have to do with your response to my argument
tweet him right now.
insofar as why the Constitution is valuable, why the Constitution is valuable to me and why it should be valuable to you too? It kind of sounds like
dude, tag him right now on Twitter.
You don't have a response.
$10,000. He offered 10 grand.
Yeah, so I'm going to make it clear, man. I'm kind of like an
You don't have your mute button?
I'm going to make it clear, man. I'm kind of like an analog computer here, input output. If you give an input that is a pivot or deflection away from the argument presented, I'm going to ignore it and then ask you again to attempt to respond. I understand that you don't have a response because you've lost the debate and you're fucking stun locked by somebody with an IQ significantly higher than yours will ever be. But all that I'm just simply asking you to do, man, is to either bow out peacefully or at the bare minimum, stop annoying me with this bullshit. Okay? If you can't give a response to my position to object to your statement that we shouldn't care about the Constitution, just say that. Stop wasting my time and stop wasting the time of the 16,000 people watching this live. It's really fucking annoying. Especially after the hour and a half of the other guests that we have had that have done the exact same thing. You, the guest before you, the guest before them, and the guest before them have all done the same shitty little small brain tactic of making a point, getting beat, and then not responding to the refutation, and instead talking about a billion other things. Oh, Dean gives a refutation to the guest's shitty position. Andrew Wilson. Dean gives a refutation to the guest's shitty position. Meta ethics. Stay on topic, give a response, or I'm going to move on to the next guest. Right? And by the way, Nicole on YouTube said condescending much. I hope that came off as condescending as possible.
Okay, so yeah, you said that you have are you calling me dumb? You said you have a higher IQ than me. What's up with that? You said it was significantly higher.
Right. So I just told you to give a very direct response to my argument. Did you give me a very direct response to my argument? No, you didn't. And for that reason, we'll go ahead and move on. Every single guest today, just absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. Every single guest today, same old, same old. It is the same script with every single Trump supporter. Same script every single time, folks. Watch. I bet this next guest will do it too. What's up? Do you support Trump? Nope, the red. Dude, the red frog. Hop back in that queue. Sorry, man. You took a second to answer, so I kicked you. If you rejoin the queue right now, I'll get you right back up here. If you rejoin right now, I'll get you right back up here, the red frog. While we're waiting on the red frog to hop back in that queue, guys, make sure that we're double tapping and make sure that you're sharing out this live with a handful of friends. And if you want to support me and help pay for my therapy after all of the crazy guests today that just are refusing to debate, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, in the link tree, my bio on TikTok, or in that pin message over on YT. Well, we're going to go and give the red frog around 5 seconds here to hop back in that queue. Red frog, if you could hear me, literally just click that same button you did to get in the queue in the first place. We're going to go to get that next guest up in here right now. I'm going to take one last look for the red frog. I don't see them back in the queue. That is highly unfortunate. Let's go to get that next guest connected right now. While they are connecting, hey, Natalie, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Natalie. Natalie with the $20. Let me go and load it up. While we're loading that up, welcome in. What's going on? Do you support Trump heritage?
Yeah, brother, I sure as fuck do.
All right. Could you disconnect any Bluetooth devices you got connected? Okay, weird. Can you disconnect any all Bluetooth devices you have connected to your phone?
I don't have any Bluetooth devices connected to my goddamn phone, you dumb phony.
Okay, all right. Let me think Natalie real quick. Natalie with
You're being up here being all gay and shit.
Are you hitting on me?
What?
These are debates. These are political debates. Okay?
First to me,
political
loses
debates.
the debate, son.
Okay, so
what are you trying to debate?
Why you support Trump? But before we get into
I'm
that,
trying to figure out:
Yeah,
are
thank you
you
for the galaxy.
transitioning from male to female or female to male? You seem stuck in the middle.
Okay, all right. Some say that I can look androgynous. Okay.
Yeah, you look stupid as shit, son.
Well, I'm not.
I guess we
And
found
I
some
can prove that
common ground. We
to you
can
by
both agree to
debating
that.
you. Are you gonna debate or not?
Yeah.
Natalie, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Natalie with the $20 says not. Wait, 1 second, sure. I'm thanking my donors. If you wouldn't mind just giving me a second. Natalie with the $20 says not sure who's telling you to be nicer. I love this version. A few of my favorite for the night. Every time, quote unquote, a month is 30 days. Do the math. I don't like to read, quote unquote. I could tell you're stun locked by somebody with a significantly higher IQ, bro. Just because of guests today or like something else. Thank you for the $20, Natalie. Show some love to Natalie down below in that chat, as well as Michaela with the $15 saying thank you for always being supportive of women's rights. Watching your stream always makes my day. By the way, Liberty University's in Virginia. Thank you for letting me know. Show some love to Michaela and Natalie down below in that chat, as well as S with the $10 saying, would I ever debate your MAGA father? Yeah, sure. If he hops in the queue, I happily will. Show some love to Natalie S down below in that chat. In fact, Heritage, would you go ahead and thank Natalie like for a $25 donation real quick?
Sure, thanks for donating to this scum bucket. But at least we found common ground.
Good boy. Good boy. I have a couple other ones too. Hey, thank you so much, Gina, for the $10 over on PayPal. Gina with the $10 says, I've been having a shitty week at work, but always look forward to watching your lives when I get home. Well, I'm happy that you're here, Gina, and I hope that you're enjoying the stream. As well as Rose, thank you so much for the $50 super chat on YouTube. Rose, that is crazy. Thank you so much. That is so much money. Let's get 500 Rose W's down below in that chat. Rose says, I have a friend who supports Trump, and I was wondering, should I respect your opinion? Why or why not? Well, yeah, you shouldn't really respect an opinion that's like pro-Trump. That doesn't mean that you can't like respectfully talk to them about it. But you don't have to respect the opinion. Thank you for the love, Rose. As well as Dino, thank you so much for the $20 on Super Chat, saying Color's family tree looks like a wreath. Thank you for the love, Dino. Can you thank Rose for the $50 donation and Dino with the $20 donation?
So, anyway, as we were talking, we can both agree that you look ambiguous, low T.
I probably have significantly higher
that.
testosterone than you.
Okay, well, I mean,
I listen. Maybe
you got that a little bit mixed up.
Maybe I'll have to start boasting, like the man metrics, the things that are important to the people on your sides of the aisle. Oh, would you like to compare bicep circumference or bench?
Oh, I mean, come on, son. Do you even bench?
Yeah.
I said bench. I said bench, not bitch.
Yeah. No, I do bench. I do. What's your bench?
Okay, I'm guessing you're at about 114 on the bench.
What's yours?
235.
I unironically was benching 235 when I was 18. Still in high school. No, first year of freshman year of college. I don't know, man. Yeah, Low T Dean was hitting your max freshman year of college. Freshly 18. Yeah. Get alpha'd. Get alpha'd. Yeah. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Man, I'm sorry. That was really silly and elementary of me. That was very silly and elementary of me. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. What's up? Do you support Trump? No, they're not here. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Oh goddamn! All right, let's go to get that next guest connected right now. We're gonna go to get Darkblade 47 loaded up. He got alpha'd. Yeah, woo! Classic alpha male Dean. How about that? What's up? Do you support Trump? No, he's gone. All right. All right, guys, we're gonna get a look for that next Trump supporter. We got Bobby Lee Swagger connecting. What's up, you MAGA?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Quickly before we hop into the debate, I got a couple people to thank. Georgia, thank you so much for the $25 donation over on Venmo for the well-deserved therapy money. That is very kind of you, Georgia. I want to see 250 Georgia W's down below. That is GEORGIA, as well as Amanda with a $10 saying, Dean, you're not mean. Keep cooking these frauds. Let's go, Amanda. Thank you for the 10.
Georgia.
It's quite mean. Kaylee, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much for the love, Kaylee. And yeah, I'm going to be taking a look into that, Kaylee. But I will say, I doubt it'll end up happening. Thank you so much for the $20.
Kaylee.
Let's get 200 Kaylee W's down below. Just ignore the loser. As well as Emily and Philip, I appreciate you both for the $5 over on Venmo. Appreciate you guys so much. As well as Mark with the $20 over on PayPal.
Andrew Wilson.
One moment. Mark with the $20 over on PayPal. Mark with the $20 says, Dean, fold this guy like an envelope and mail him back to his wife, mother, sister, aunt, cousin. Thank you for the $20. That is incredibly kind of you.
Fake laughing is
Thank
weird.
you so much for the love. As well as a Rose with the $8 on PayPal and Madison with the $5 over on Venmo as well. Thank you guys so much for the love. Hey, all right. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, he's all right.
All right. Why do you support Trump?
I think he's pretty cool. I like his hair.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to somebody serious. Let's go and get that next guest connected into the live. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We're going to get you connected. We got that next guest, Jeremy, loading into the stream right now, quite frankly. All right. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you connected. We're looking for a pro-Trump American adult. What's up, Jeremy? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, how old are you? I don't even know why I asked how old he is. He's obviously underage. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go. We got Dr. Thunder connecting. Once again, if you want to support me, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. You could even attach a message. I'll read it off on live. Kind of like Adolfo. There we go. Adolfo. Thank you so much for the $50 donation on PayPal, Adolfo. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. That is ADOLFO. Adolfo with a $50 donation says, hey, Dean, DACA recipient here. Love your TikTok lives. Hope you go on tour someday. You know what? I actually will be hitting a couple of college campuses, having some fun talking to Mr. Kirk Adolfo. Maybe I'll be at one in your area. But seriously, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much, Adolfo. Show some love to Adolfo down below. And Mr. Thunder, or I guess Dr. Thunder it is, I sent you an invite to unmute. What's up? Do you support Trump?
For the most part, not everything.
Okay, if you could go back in time. Oh, you have an echo. Could you disconnect any and all Bluetooth devices?
Yep.
There you go, my friend. Already better. So just to clarify, do you think that the country would be worse off today if Kamala Harris was elected? If you could go back in time to November, would you still vote for Trump?
My personal opinion, I would still want it to be Trump.
Okay. All right. So why do you support Trump as president?
A lot of my beliefs align with him. Not that anyone on the other side is inherently bad, but most of my beliefs align with being conservative.
Okay, which of your beliefs aligns with Trump? Because a lot of classically conservative beliefs don't. like having patriotism in the country and supporting the Constitution. He's violated it 5 times. Being fiscally conservative and reducing our debt. He's added the most to the debt out of any other president in modern American history. Protecting free speech. He violated your free speech last week. So, like, what Trump values do you believe in that he believes in?
Well, I think every president's going to have their cons, and they're going to break rules that they're not supposed to, and the other side's going to call it out every single time. But strong military, someone who's willing to take action.
Okay, strong military. I think that Biden was better for the military. He actually did shit for him, like the PACT Act, $800 million investment into the expansion of VA healthcare resources. Meanwhile, we have Trump over here defunding the VA by millions.
Yeah, I didn't say that Biden did a bad job.
Okay, I'm just simply demonstrating that, like, seemingly Kamala Harris, who served under Biden's campaign, has done more for veterans, more for the military than Trump.
I like him as a person better, not a lot of his personal decisions, which, yeah, most people should agree that he's made some bad choices, but most of us have as well.
You can't possibly like Trump as a person more than Kamala Harris. It's impossible. Kamala Harris is not.
There are
a
parts
person
of
who's
him as a
perved on
person
kids.
that I do like.
Donald Trump has. Donald Trump as a person has been held liable for rape. Donald Trump as a person has been found guilty of 34 felonies. Donald Trump as a person has hit on his own daughter. Donald Trump as a person was personally really good friends with Epstein. Epstein even had a framed picture of them on his desk. Donald Trump as a person sent Epstein a letter with a picture of a naked woman with a statement, "May every day be a new wonderful secret." Donald Trump as a person boasted about sexually exploiting naked girls and women to Howard Stern in 2005. Donald Trump as a person is incredibly racist and tried to get people not to vote for Obama because he was black, after calling all black people lazy in the 90s and specifically not renting to black tenants in the 70s. Donald Trump as a person is also incredibly misogynistic, making statements along the lines of saying that the best thing that could ever happen to a woman is pregnancy, or saying that you could just grab a woman by the P word and not even ask first. Seemingly, Donald Trump as a person is not too good of a person, so why would you like him as a person?
Why do you think he was voted in as president?
Misinformation, COVID, propaganda.
Oh my gosh, the misinformation is terrible on both sides.
Okay, you asked me why he was voted in as a president. I told you. Can you please now respond to my refutation of your point, arguing that you should like him as a person?
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the things that he's done. I'm not going to debate that. That would be dumb. He's done some dumb stuff.
So why do you like him as a person?
I don't care about how he is personally, some of the decisions that he's made. I care about the decisions he makes for our country.
Yeah, who you are as a person influences the decisions that you make as a country. A good description of this would be that the fact that the role of serving as our president is a role of public service. I don't think he's capable of public service. I only think that he's capable of self-service, as I just think any man who would grape a woman just instrumentally lacks the necessary virtues to be capable of empathy for others.
There may be truth to that. I'm not going to tell you that there's not. I've never done a deep dive into the court cases and the stuff that you just mentioned. Yeah, those things are terrible. 100%. Don't disagree. I think he's a good leader. I think other world leaders have a respect for him, not necessarily because he's earned the respect, but because he will take action. And I can say that a lot of other presidents in the past have not. They have the appearance of being weak, that they won't take action, that they'll just roll over. And I'm happy to finally have a president that will stand up to some of these other world leaders where we've been kind of silent. And
why won't he stand up to Israel or Russia?
I don't know the answer to that. You'd have to ask him.
Right, exactly. I don't know, man. I think the idea that Donald Trump is just a stronger looking leader is going to be like a 11th or 12th order consequence resulting from your support for him. So I think using that as an argument for your support for him, even though it's likely more so a consequence of your support, is quite circular. Maybe what I could ask is this. What is something that Donald Trump has done in the last 250 days of his presidency that has made you support him?
Taking action.
What action?
Drugs.
We can't really
healthcare.
say that. Can't really just say DRUGS. It's just TikTok terms of service.
What's that?
You have to spell it out because of TikTok's terms of service. It's weird.
Oh,
I know.
okay. I didn't know that. He's an arrogant man. 100%.
Let me respond to those two things. The first thing you brought up was DRUGS. I don't think he's taken too much action against that. 85% of those things that are brought into the country are brought in by citizens. Meanwhile, his supposed crackdown on them has been by reducing undocumented entries and cracking down on undocumented immigrants that are already in the country. But when a significant vast majority of them are brought into the country and disseminated by citizens, his priorities just lay in the wrong place. Not to mention that because his mass deportation is centering all undocumented immigrants compared to just undocumented immigrants with prior criminal offenses of dissemination of DRUGS or violent criminal offenses, the overall deportation rates, specifically of undocumented immigrants that are committing bad crimes, is lower than what we saw under Biden. And you could actually get the data and resources to prove this yourself by going to ice.gov/statistics and then setting it on a monthly filter and then specifically filtering for removals of undocumented immigrants with prior criminal offenses. Now, to your second point about healthcare, he's really hurt healthcare. In fact, the big, beautiful bill increased the premiums for everybody on Medicaid by 75% per the CBO and kicked 10 million people off.
Do you think Harris would have done a better job with healthcare? That's a genuine question. I'm not.
Yes, absolutely. Harris didn't want to kick anybody off of Medicaid. She didn't want to defund it to make the premiums more expensive. In fact, she ran on more healthcare policy to, one, save our government money by granting it a greater negotiating ability with private pharmaceutical companies to get the prices lower, to use the leverage of the monopoly they hold over the healthcare of like 75 million people. And point number two, she ran on policy to limit the most that any American citizen could pay out of pocket for private pharmaceuticals to $3,000 per year. That's objectively better than increasing the premiums for those that are on Medicaid, while then also kicking 10 million people off.
Yeah, I don't think any president's done very good with healthcare, and I think it's sad, and I think someone does need to figure it out, and I'm not saying Trump's the one to do it. I just want someone to do it. There are a lot of problems that no president has really solved, and they all make promises, and they don't keep them.
Well, the argument here is that I asked you to tell us a handful of things that he's done in the last 200 days that has made you support him. You said healthcare. That I demonstrated how the only things he's done to healthcare in the last 200 days has been to hurt it. Meanwhile, if Harris was elected, our public healthcare systems would be better off.
My job industry has gotten a lot better since he's been in office, and that's construction.
But before we move on to construction, could you respond to my claims about healthcare, about how he's hurt healthcare, and if Kamala Harris was elected, she would have helped healthcare?
I'm not dumb enough to debate specifics on very political things. I'll admit that. I work a lot. I don't do a ton of research into that stuff. My belief system more so aligns with the right than the left. I'm not anti.
And why is that?
Either side. I'm very big on freedom of speech, Second Amendment. I'm big on family. I don't really believe in teaching a lot of the LGBT stuff in school. Not that I'm anti or anything like that, but I don't think that's a place for it.
Okay, listen.
A lot of the beliefs.
We'll talk about that. So first and foremost, you said that you care about free speech. Donald Trump violated your freedom to speech last week when he attempted to ban burning of the American flag. SCOTUS ruled in the 80s that is expressly protected under your First Amendment rights.
Okay.
Okay. Then about not teaching about LGBTQ rights in school. Right.
I'm not ever going to say that I back everything he does, because I don't.
Okay, but he's very specifically infringing upon the values that you're listing when I'm asking you why you support him. Like, I understand you listen. You don't
support everything she does.
My argument isn't that you have to support everything Trump does, but my argument is if you're going to tell me that you support Trump because of a set of values, he at the bare minimum has to be serving to the better interest of those values. But when you tell me that you support him because you value free speech, but then he's actively infringing upon your free speech, it makes no goddamn sense to say that you support him if that's one of your values.
I support the right for free speech.
But the right is infringing upon your free speech. I don't know how to make this any more clear. The left isn't infringing upon your First Amendment rights. The right is infringing upon your First Amendment rights. Trump today is infringing upon the First Amendment. Like, how does it get any more cognitively dissonant than this?
You're saying he 100% supports the right, and the right 100% supports everything he does at all times?
Wait, I'm saying Trump. Trump infringed upon your First
I'm
Amendment
saying
rights.
I'm more aligned as a conservative, not necessarily him specifically.
So then you don't support him?
Most of the time, yes. All of the time, absolutely not.
But even
No,
in
I don't
alignment with your values, why would Kamala Harris
that.
be worse given that she wouldn't have infringed upon your First Amendment rights?
I'm not talking about a specific person. I'm talking about
We
what
are.
side
We
I'm
are
on,
talking
and I
about.
think
We're talking.
he
What does
is
it say? Can you read the sentence?
He was a candidate for
Read-
the side that I'm more aligned with.
Oh, great. So it's actually not country over party, it's party over country. You're telling me that I could give you every single argument to demonstrate that in nearly all relevant senses, you and the country as a whole and the world as a whole would be significantly better off if Kamala Harris had won the election. But at the end of the day, you'll still never support that as you value your party over your country.
It depends on the situation. I don't like her either. I don't like a lot of things Trump personally has done. She annoys me. I don't support her.
Okay. So why was Kamala Harris worse than Trump?
Because of the party she represents.
Bro.
But I don't align myself.
Jesus fucking Christ. So it has nothing to do with the policy that she ran on? It has nothing to do with the policy that Trump ran on? It had nothing to do with who she was as a person? Let me ask you this question.
It has to do with all that.
Let me ask you this question. If Kamala Harris ran as a Republican and Trump ran as a Democrat, but their policy and character remained the same, who would you vote for?
It's a great question. I don't know. You vote for the side that you align with and the person who's representing that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, dude. Bruh. Listen, that is such a bad way to think, okay? And I'm talking to that last guy because he was a Republican, but this also applies to Democrats. Like, if you're a Democrat watching this live, and you would respond, I don't know, if asked, if Trump ran as a Democrat and Kamala Harris ran as a Republican, who would you vote for? You'd be just as fucking silly as him, okay? Never put the party slogan above the country and the impact that the candidate would have on it. Dude, he's so gone. And honestly, like, he wasn't a part of the Trump cult. He was a part of the Republican cult, which is like something that we don't see as frequently anymore. Like, we don't see that too much. Now it's nowadays it's the Trump cult. But he's like one of like the old head, like just Republican, read down the ballot till I die type of people. You know, like he was even willing to like possibly throw Trump out the window if Trump didn't run as a Republican. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
20.
Great. Let me thank 4 people here. First and foremost, Desiree. Thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Desiree. Desiree says, my favorite is when you call them a good boy and mute them. You make my day. I reserve that only for very specific instances, but that last guest deserved it. Thank you for the love, Desiree. And then Gwendolyn with a 15 saying, hope you had a nice birthday, Dean. I did. Love listening to you. Thank you. Not all heroes wear capes. Wish you could debate my mom. If you get her up here on the live, I happily will. As well as Hannah with a $25 saying, I've had a really shitty couple of days and ended up in the hospital. Thank you for streaming and making my day better. Hannah, I am so happy that I can make your day better. Literally, you just put such a big smile on my face. Thank you, Hannah, Gwendolyn, and Desiree. Show some love to Hannah, Gwendolyn, and Desiree down below in that chat. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, you can find me on Venmo and PayPal through the link tree in my bio on TikTok, Venmo and PayPal through the pin message on the YT, where, of course, you could also support over on Super Chats. Now, Midwest Redneck, why do you support a wannabe dictator?
I mean, I don't support everything he does. I wish he was more far right.
You wish he was further to the right?
Further.
So do you self-identify as a groyper, neo-Nazi, or racist?
No, I'm more on the Nick Fuentes right.
Let's see how good a groyper a Nazi, because that's what he is at playing the guitar.
I brought flowers to your door last night.
To be fair, that's not very good audio equipment.
Listen, bruh. I'm going to keep it real with you. It's not even like the worst. That's not even the worst. I want you to undergo a reality check. Okay? I need you to give yourself a very much needed reality check. You're not cool, you're not edgy, and you're not hip for saying that you support a Nazi. Okay? Right?
He's not a Nazi.
He is definitionally speaking a neo-Nazi.
He doesn't support Israel. He doesn't support Palestine. He's what I would call a Christian nationalist.
I personally asked Fuentes if he would prefer Hitler to be our president, and he said yeah.
I mean, he was obviously trolling you and you fell for it.
Okay, it's obviously a troll until you see him throw the salute with yay and scream
Once
the N-word.
again, jokes.
Dude,
this rage bait.
At what point does it
You're
go from
falling
being
for the
jokes?
rage bait, dude.
At what point does it go from being jokes and rage bait to just truly the way that he feels?
When you guys stop being so sensitive and
Okay, right. Well, listen, I'm just gonna go ahead and kick that guy and repeat to everybody watching this live: you are not sensitive if you think that like it's wrong to say you're a white supremacist. You are not sensitive if you think that it is wrong to just spam the N-word hard R in reference to black people. You are not sensitive if you think it is wrong to parade and identify as a Nazi. Okay? You're not sensitive if you think those things. Okay? And honestly, like this attack that the right has launched on these common sense ideals by labeling you as a snowflake just because you're not a terrible person is embarrassing, right? And like at this point, we got to get to an area where we all can acknowledge that and we could fight back. Like it's about damn time that it is known. It is not sensitive to think it is wrong to support the genocide of 12 million people. It's common sense. And if we're sensitive for thinking that, well, I mean, then their favorite historical figures are also sensitive. What about Jesus? Jesus was such a sensitive snowflake, I guess. Welcome back, man. You were in here with us earlier. You support Trump, right?
Largely. I would agree.
Great, man. Well, I apologize for kicking you earlier. You responded a little bit after I asked the question.
Oh, man, I was on my way home from work, and I was backing in my spot and was like, gosh, damn it. Didn't hit my button in time.
No worries, man.
All good.
Drew and Logan, I appreciate you both for the $5 over on Venmo. Thank you, Drew and Logan. And hey, take it away. Why do you support Trump, my friend?
Honestly, I just, through my life so far, I've seen the failings over and over, the empty promises that we've been given. And he is the only person who was not a politician for his entire career coming up. If I had my way, we would fire every single person in Washington and just start over.
I mean, I would also be okay with firing like 95% of them.
Yeah. Honest to goodness, my respect for the man comes from, if you look at, if he wanted to just go piss off to some island, he could have, and not had, near all the horrible things, said about him. When you have what we seen during COVID, the relentless, I mean, he's the most vetted person in the world, hands down. When you have somebody who's been attacked so hard, has had, threats made against his family, his friends, I don't think anybody can refute that there's been a lot of lawsuits brought against him politically simply because, they were able to do it.
See, here's the thing. I think that you're setting forth a bad precedent. So you're bringing up all the court cases, all the negative PR, all of the headlines, all of the bad reporting, all of the attacks, all of the negative statements, all of the allegations, and you yield the conclusion from that. Well, that means that this guy must be it. He just wants to eradicate the deep state, and the deep state is launching these attacks. When in all reality, he's just a bad man. He's just a really damn bad man that shouldn't qualify for a job at your local McDonald's. And because he's now serving as our president, just about everyone in the world with a decent head on their shoulders wants you to know every single bad thing he's ever done. Right? But now basically what you're telling me is if I ever want to run for president, I just got to go out there and do some of the most despicable bullshit known to mankind ever, be held accountable for it by the courts and the media, then just simply say that's the deep state attacking me. Then I'll be able to gain a cult-like following of millions and then win the presidency, fuck over the country, throw our constitution out the window, give a big middle finger to everybody but rich white men, and somehow still have the social support to justify a TikTok live with 16,000 people listening in about if he's a good president or not.
I'm not saying that I like the man. From some of the things that, there's a story about a black gentleman who Trump gave back in, I guess, the 80s, a loan to start his small business. Took time to help him to, get his business up and moving when the man couldn't get a loan. There's things like that happen. I've never heard anybody tell a story about, politicians that, went out of their own way to help, a singular person in need.
You just said to get a loan, right?
A lot of that is said. I know a lot of that is said,
you just said to get a loan.
As a huge group.
Wait, I'm just curious. You just said a loan, right?
I'm sorry?
You just said he helped somebody get a loan.
He gave them.
He gave them a loan, right?
Yeah.
Do you pay interests on loans?
He actually, when the man tried to pay the loan back at the end of the loan, he told him to keep that money, that it was his, he earned it, and he was proud of him. Is how the man told the story.
Okay, I mean, I'm not so sure of what you're telling us. Assuming that what you're telling us is true, I don't know. I don't think you'd be able to give us evidence of it. We'll assume it nonetheless. Why does this change? Like, this doesn't change anything as far as I'm concerned. Okay, he gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that in the 90s he called all black people racist. He gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that when Obama was running for president, he basically told people not to vote for them because he was black. He gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that he was best buddies with Epstein. Epstein had a picture of them together on his desk, and he was sending Epstein letters with pictures of naked women in the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." Sorry, he gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that he's been held civilly liable for rape. Doesn't change anything. I'm sorry, man. I'm confused. And if the best thing you could tell me about Trump is that 40 years ago, this near billionaire gave somebody a loan for like $100,000. We have a far way to go, my friend. Feel free to unmute.
I do not feel, I don't think that is, there's some other ones. This I watched in a video. It was an interview the man did. I'm not going to say that somebody is going to be, everybody does wrong. I mean, we're all sinners. We've all made mistakes.
Yeah, but we haven't all made the same mistakes, quote unquote, which is crazy to call them, that Donald Trump has, like raping someone or sexually exploiting teen girls.
And I hope that if it comes out that it's true, and I hope he gets the justice he deserves.
So a court has already determined that he's guilty of rape, And he's actually the one that admitted to sexually exploiting naked teen girls and grown adult women.
I have not seen that. I have not read it.
Listen.
And as soon as we get done with this, I'm absolutely going to.
Well, listen, man, I'll just go ahead and play you the clip right now. Here's him admitting to exactly what I just said. Take a listen.
Could be a conflict of interest, but, it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later
The
on.
question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Mike Sears.
On the Stern Show, I don't know when that was.
2005.
I would have to hear all the context before that. The part that he said, that he sees these incredible looking women. I would have to say that if I walked into a room where there was unbelievable superstar models getting undressed, I would try to avert my eyes. But my goodness, I mean, to say that these aren't beautiful women, I think would be an insult.
Sometimes I find myself truly lost for words. And this is one of those scenarios. Like I did say before I rolled that clip that we're also talking about kids, right? Like, did you just admit to saying that if you saw like the naked body of like a kid beauty star, you'd be like, oh, they're so hot? Like, what? Dude, like not only is that sick, but like, why would you say that in front of like 16,000 people? Like, it's sick. Like, why would you say this sick shit on the internet permanently and in front of 16,000 people? Like, what? Dude. Bro, dude. They're teenagers?
They're nowhere in that clip did I hear anybody speak of age. He said models. I automatically assumed that these are women of age. My God, what kind of animal would fucking do that to a child?
He owned Miss Teen USA, and we have had 5 or 6 of the contestants at Miss Teen USA say that he's done this to them. And point number 2, he also owned Miss USA and Miss Universe, where he also did this to women. However, it's not any better because although women could consent to it, they didn't. He unconsensually used his position of authority as the owner of the pageant to attempt to justify, quote unquote, walking into their changing rooms to look at them while they're undressed just to turn around and boast about how good they looked on the internet. Keep in mind, they're undressed to change in a space for them, not so Donald Trump could look at them. This, definitionally speaking, fulfills all necessary criteria for sexual exploitation, regardless if it happened to an adult woman or teen, right? So why would your response to this sexual exploitation, regardless if it happened to teens or adult women, be anything other than that's detestable and that's wrong? But why was your response? Well, if I was in his shoes, it would be insulting to not say that
you are twisting my words.
While I was sexually
I said that
exploiting.
if I walked into a room, my goodness, if I was walking through a building and I took a wrong turn, I am saying that, yes, there was beautiful women behind that door. Like I said originally, I would avert my eyes instantly out of respect. If
So I'm
what,
not.
if,
I'm
if
not.
what
I'm
you're
not
saying
twisting.
truly happened,
I'm not
can I please
twisting
speak?
your words
Because
you're
if
twisting
what you're
Trump's.
saying truly happened, that is gross. That is horrible, and I am going to dig into it because I do believe that is detestable. To use a position of power in such a way to exploit a woman, a child, that is disgusting.
You
I
understand
absolutely.
that? But I've already provided you with more than enough evidence to demonstrate that it's true. That evidence being his own admission. Like, let's break it down. Let's go through this together.
Think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can
Hang
it
on a
not be
second. Hang on a second.
Yeah, for sure.
I am not just going to take this small audio clip and
Why?
base my entire judgment of a man off a Stern interview audio clip.
Why not? When it's him
I
talking.
want to do due diligence and make sure that everything that is being said is 100% factual.
But who's it being-
Unfortunately,
who's it being said
details
by?
get twisted so often.
Who is it being said by in this clip?
I do not know what the first part of this conversation was. I don't know.
Let's listen to all the context. I've never played the full thing. Let's just listen to it all. It's 2 minutes long.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, I go out with somebody, and she's like 21, and she's talking about, what are you doing? And she's studying algebra. And
So what?
And it's like, it was always embarrassing for me to walk in. It's too young. 30 is like a perfect age.
Absolutely, she has enough life experience.
Until she's 35.
Too much life experience.
35. What is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
And you're probably, I would say, the greatest judge of beauty on this planet. In fact, I would create a TV show for you where all you did was just judge women.
Now, that may be the best idea of all.
It's a simple thing. It's a half hour, and we strip it out all over the
I would
country.
say I'm the all-time judge.
You own this pageant. You go over. You're meeting the girls. And stuff. One of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you." Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
Conflict?
yes?
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later
The
on.
question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting.
Right,
I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
I gotta say, I've never listened to that whole clip before. That makes it significantly worse.
I did not hear age anywhere in there. Am I saying that I agree with what he did? No. I think that's
Nose.
Wait, I gotta roll back the YouTube live. Right before I started playing that clip, you agreed that regardless if he did this to teen or women, it would still be just as wrong. I'll play that right now. It's true that evidence being his own admission.
100%.
Like, let's break
I
it
was
down.
trying
Let's go
to
through
say
this
that.
together.
Think about the conflict.
Can
a
I-
little bit.
True that
Can I
evidence
finish
being
a
his own
thought?
admission. Like, yeah, for sure. You could finish a thought. I just wanted to clarify. Now you're saying, well, I didn't hear age anywhere in there. Well, before I played
because
that
you
clip,
attacked
affirmed
me
that
and
regardless
said that I
of
was
the age.
freaking talking about wanting to look at underage women. I was waiting to make sure that I didn't miss something. So I was definitely listening for it. Once again, I do believe that if you are in a pageant, in a space like that, no, there should be either a waiver saying that there is a male who is going to be coming through and making sure that everybody's outfits look right, whatever, what have you. But no, you should not be able to just walk into a space like that. I believe that's morally wrong.
Okay, so point number one, he wasn't making sure that their outfits look good because they didn't have outfits on.
He was inspecting their bodies. Yeah, that's gross.
He was looking at them. He was perving on them, right? And he did this at Miss Teen
and
USA,
that's gross.
Miss USA, and Miss Universe. We've had teens testify that this happened to them, and we've had women at Miss USA and Miss Universe testify that this happened to them. Can you agree that regardless if this occurred to a teen or woman, that it was still sexual exploitation in both circumstances?
I would agree to that. But once again, like I said, I would want to go through any documented cases to make sure, that it wasn't money grabs trying to attack, a wealthy person. But am I saying that obviously right there, he said that he went into for that.
He said that he walked backstage unconsensually where no men were to look at them while they were undressed.
Yeah. So that part, I 100% no, I believe that's wrong, fundamentally wrong.
So okay. So now that you've agreed that Donald Trump has sexually exploited women or girls, or women and girls, how could you possibly support him as president?
This is going to sound terrible. I don't support the man, that behavior. I do believe Joe Biden did some very, very questionable things with children.
Bill Clinton would be a better example because yesterday we had a survivor of Epstein say that she was taken to Africa with Bill Clinton. And you know what my
once
response
again,
to that
this is why I think that all politicians are crooked no-goods.
One second. You know what my response to that would be about Bill? Fuck you, Bill. See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah. I'm never going to support you ever again. And guess what? Now you using that as a tool to equivocate and change to all politicians is false. I can name one politician that we know hasn't done any of this. Her name was Kamala Harris. And she ran against him. That's the
she
person
was
that you voted
accused
against.
of sucking off the governor of California to boost her
What the fuck?
status.
What governor?
Of California.
What's his name and when?
I would have to look it up. I do not know right off the rip.
Come on, bro. Dude, let me fill in the blanks for you. I know the MAGA arguments better than you do. It's not going to be the governor of California. It would be the mayor of San Francisco. And his name was Willie Brown. And the allegation is that she slept with Willie Brown to work her way up in politics to help get to the top. The refutation of this would be, by the time she got her first public office, Willie Brown had been out of the mayoral seat for 15 years. And you're not going to be able to convince me that her being in a relationship with Willie Brown 10 years before she ran for the DA of San Fran got her that position, as I doubt many people in San Francisco knew Willie Brown's name. Like, for instance, what state do you live in?
Missouri.
Can you name 3 cities in Missouri?
Jeff City, St. Louis, Kansas City, Center, New London, Frankfurt.
Name the mayor of one of those cities.
Our last mayor. Oh gosh, what is
No, name the mayor.
Sam Page.
Not last mayor, current mayor. Name one mayor. Wait, name one current mayor of any of those cities.
The last mayor of St. Louis County was it Sam Page? I believe he's the current one. My apologies. I believe he's the current one.
Sam Page. Let's see. Serving as the county executive of St. Louis County. Is a county executive the same thing as a mayor?
Nope, you are right. My mistake.
Okay. All right. So can you name the mayor?
I cannot.
All right, exactly. And I'm not going to lie. I couldn't name the mayor of where I live either. This isn't something to make you seem unintelligent. This is something to just make it clear that we don't fucking know who our mayors are. So how could her being in a relationship with an ex-mayor of San Francisco get her the 72 million votes required to be a senator of California or the 40 million votes required to be the AG of California? You know? While you're thinking about that, let me thank a couple people. Jane, thank you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat. I appreciate you for that, love, Jane. As well as Jacob with the $10 saying, hey, Dean, did you see that Joseph Schnitt was caught on tape saying that the DOJ had been planning on redacting GOP names from the Epstein files? I did see that. Very interesting. Thank you for the love, you too. If you're watching and you'd like to donate to me or get a message across to the stream, because I try to read out all of the messages. Of course, I miss a couple. You can support me on Venmo or PayPal, which are found in the link tree in my bio. And also also like to quickly thank Erica for the $20 over on Venmo. Show some love to Erica down below in that chat. Let's get 200 Erica W's. Thank you. They say, dude, these callers have been on something lately. It must be the MAGA Mobile 2G signals rotting their brains. You were holding it down and crushing them all. 21 must have given you some extra armor and weapons. Keep fighting disinformation. Erica, I'm gonna keep it frank. I'm a little bit dead inside after 2.5 hours of this. Something is going on today. Thank you, Erica. As well as Jacqueline. Thank you for the $25 donation on Venmo. They say, I love watching your live streams. They really help me keep updated with all the info that is coming out and knowing what is actual facts versus propaganda. Appreciate everything that you do. Keep it up. Thank you, you too. Show some love to Erica and Jacqueline down below in that chat, as well as Sarah for the 5. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you, everyone. That is incredibly kind. Oh, and Jessica, this just came in. Jessica, thank you for the $10 donation on PayPal. I love you too, Jessica. Thank you. Hey, is there anything else that you want to go over before I move on to my next guest here?
Yeah, actually, when I originally the first time tried to come onto the stream, you were talking to a man, and it really is the whole reason I requested to come on. You were talking about his education level, that he was just a high school graduate, and then, spoke into, how much of a higher IQ you have. I've seen recently there has been a lot of push toward Trump supporters being uneducated, what have you. I feel like it's a really dishonest argument for people who have not gone into, academia. There's a lot of us who have learned we acquired our education in shops and farm fields, on job sites, equipment, what have you. There is an education that's held by these people in the trades that...
You're on pause?
I'm sorry, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd I cut out?
There's an education that is held by the people in the trades.
Yeah. That, people in academia just seem to not understand and or appreciate. A lot of us have more invested in our trade or in our education than college would have ever cost. And without these people, every day, the computers we have, the electric we enjoy, the water that runs in the house, it doesn't exist.
I never said anything about formal education. I'm a college dropout. And I think I've been able to educate myself significantly more out of college than I would have been educated in college just through my own research. When I call somebody uneducated, especially in reference to that guest that you're saying, I only called him uneducated because he said I had a small peepee, by the way. Just going back and forth a little bit. But I'm not saying that he's uneducated because he didn't go to college. I'm saying that he's uneducated because he hasn't put time, energy, effort, or research into any form, formal or informal education, and then use either this lack of knowledge or willful ignorance to justify a support for the evil and a disdain for things that will actually make this country better.
Okay. So I guess, once again, when I first heard it, I did not hear all the context leading up to that conversation with him. I do remember him saying something about you having low T, and I was like, well, that devolved quickly.
Yeah, but no,
so
like I said,
there has been
I don't
some
shit
people
on people
that,
without
I've
formal
talked
education.
to,
I
unfortunately, back and forth with, writing. I don't write with, great grammar. I'm not going to pretend to be some type of linguist. Once again, my education came from somewhere else. But can you agree that education or intelligence isn't 100% based out of the schooling that you get, from going to college?
Well, I'll agree with the first step by saying that education isn't only based out of formal education. Like, for instance, I got a 2.8 GPA in high school and I dropped out of college, and I think I'm pretty damn educated. But see, what you people on the right typically do with this conclusion is then to turn around and stigmatize formal education, when on average, formal education produces significantly better outcomes than the lack thereof. I'm going to move on to the next guest, though. You have a good rest of your day. Let's go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the live. Hop in that queue if you're MAGA. We'll happily get you up here. Up here. We got the next guest loading in right now. We got Disneyland Kate connecting. As well as, hey, Nico, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. I appreciate you for that love, Nico. That is incredibly kind of you. Nico says, I'm 24, but supported Trump through his first election and even voted for him in his second. I can admit I was blinded by friends and family and social media, and my girlfriend has had a huge influence on me, and I'm glad to say I voted for Harris in this past election. I'm really proud of you, Nico. This is the space for you to be. I mean, just like look at the type of person that you'd be today if you didn't change the way that you think. Look at these guests and say, that would be me if I didn't wake up, and be damn proud of yourself for waking up. As well as Michaela, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. That is kind of you, Michaela. Michaela says, I watch your live streams every day and I love them. Thank you, Michaela. Then Erica with the $5 as well, saying, I dropped out of high school. I'm in construction and I still make time to educate myself about what's going on. Preach, Erica. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Disneyland Kate, are you here? Oh, there she is. Hi, do you support Trump? I guess not. Goodbye, Disneyland Kate. We are going to go ahead and move on to that next guest. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in that bio. Welcome in. Are you MAGA?
Yes, sir.
All right. Why do you support the worst president of your goddamn life? Like, truly the most insufferable...
that goes to Joe Biden.
Name one bad policy he passed.
Inflation Reduction Act, which wasn't an inflation policy bill, it was a climate bill.
Why was the Inflation Reduction Act bad?
So it was a climate bill. It was a bunch of climate regulation bullshit.
Wait, you're saying the fact that the Inflation Reduction Act made a multi-million-dollar investment into the R&D of renewable energy resources, while also making a multi-million-dollar investment into non-renewable energy resources, while also being deficit reducing over the lifespan of the bill, made it a bad bill?
The environmental bullshit is what's wrong with that bill.
Dude, okay, how old are you?
20.
What year are you born in?
2004.
What month?
December.
Okay. And why is making an investment into renewable energy resources a bad thing? Especially when that investment will pay itself off plus some in 10 years. It was
Because
literally
this country
deficit
is-
reducing. Like, I want to make that one clear. It literally reduces the debt.
Yes, he also put a bunch of regulations on farmers.
So now you're saying that it has nothing to do with the investment into renewable energy resources and more to do with regulations
It's all the
introduced in
regulations.
the bill.
Yes, regulations.
So what
They fuck
regulations
farmers
were
over.
what regulations were introduced under the Inflation Reduction Act that were bad?
Emission controls.
Emission
All that
controls. Which
bullshit.
specific ones? Oh, you're the same kid.
I know-
You're the same Fuentes supporter.
Okay, and?
Your bio says Jesus is my
kicked me.
savior. Hey, quickly, what race was Jesus?
Jesus was, I think, Arab.
Oh, wow. So you're saying the only perfect human who's ever lived wasn't white?
I mean, who gives a shit about Jesus' race, first off?
Well, I'm just saying, you told us that you were a Nick Fuentes supporter. Total Nazi, white nationalist. Now, you as a Nick
Not a
Fuentes
white
supporter,
nationalist.
do you affirm that propositionally speaking, it is true that the only perfect human that has ever lived was not white?
I don't know if he was white. I don't know if he was black. I don't really care. He's Jesus. That's all that matters.
Oh, Jesus. And you also got your first repost saying that GAY marriage is not real?
Yes, because I'm a hardcore Christian and it is an abomination in the eyes of God. Yes.
Do you think that being
It's not.
we got to spell it out for TikTok TOS. So do you think so? Where in the Bible does it say that?
Leviticus, Romans,
Leviticus.
all kinds of places.
Wait. So you think that Leviticus is a reliable source for detailing what the moral truths of God are or are not?
It falls under adultery.
So, well, actually, no. In Leviticus, we see verse 22:11 and 13:21, I believe it's been a while, where it literally does say that it's an abomination. And you're saying that the book of Leviticus is accurate in describing the moral law of God, right?
That it's an abomination? Yes.
Okay, so what does Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46 say?
I don't know exactly what it says. I know.
Oh, I do. I read the Bible, unlike you. It says that slavery is okay. More specifically, it says that your male and female slaves may come from the nations around you, and you may own them as property, and you may also bequeath them as inherited property to your children. So my question to you is, if you think that the book of Leviticus is true and accurate today, right, because that's what you're using to draw the moral conclusion today that it's wrong to be GAY, do you also therefore think it's okay to own slaves?
I mean, honestly, it depends on the context. There's
the context of owning other humans as property.
Servitude. Indentured servitude.
Oh well, this wasn't indentured servitude. It was chattel slavery. Because once again, as I just described, verses 44 through 46 of Leviticus 25 say property for life. That is chattel slavery, not indentured servitude. Indentured servitude would be a servant paying off a debt, not being property for life that can be inherited and bequeathed to your children once you die.
Honestly, no.
What's that?
I believe in what the Bible says, but that might have just been Old Testament rules.
Oh, well, exactly. But now you're saying that was just Old Testament rules that we no longer follow because it is the case that Jesus fulfilled the Old Testament. You just mentioned that same Old Testament rule in Leviticus. Well, one second. You just said that same Old Testament rule in Leviticus in reference to gay individuals in Leviticus 23 and 11 makes it wrong to be GAY today. So why doesn't Leviticus 25 make it okay to own a slave today? See, you can't cherry pick like this, my friend. You can't say that some parts of Leviticus don't apply today, meanwhile others do.
It doesn't say that not doing that is an abomination to Christ. It just says
that doing it is okay. It says that owning slaves is morally permissible. Oh, okay. Well, if these laws only apply back then it was only wrong to be GAY back then.
No, because they say it's an abomination in the eyes of God.
Wait. Why would God create something? I have a question. Why would God create something that's an abomination? I thought that God was a perfect creator.
He didn't create that. Satan created that.
Oh, he didn't create that. Okay. Well, didn't God design you in your mother's womb? And if God designed you in your mother's womb, and we know that being GAY is the direct material consequence not of conscious decision, but rather of hard-coded biological facts, such as associations along the XQ23 chromosome, such as associations with larger interior commissures in the context of your neuroanatomy, or varying traits of the AI NH3 subsection of your hypothalamus, and this was hard-coded into you in your neonatal development by God per the Bible, God does make gay people gay.
No, he doesn't. That's temptations from Satan that a lot of people sadly lean into.
Well, now you're starting
nature.
Now you're starting a conversation that is equivocating what is true biologically speaking between what is true in an attempted state of conscious free will. Okay, and no, being gay is not a choice. It's not something that you're...
It is a choice. You could either not act on that attraction or you could act on it.
Really? So can you choose to be attracted to me right now?
No, because I don't find men attractive
but I thought it was a choice.
It's a choice for the ones that aren't straight, yes.
Oh!
You can either follow the...
Wait, it's a choice for the people that aren't straight. Wait, but definitionally speaking, if you're not straight, then you're... what?
You could be bi, you never know.
Okay, but in the same way that you didn't choose,
love is.
And in the same way that you didn't choose to be straight, they didn't choose to be bi or GAY. All right, and I gave you the science to back this up.
No, I have sinful nature. I have temptations in other ways. People have different temptations.
Wait.
I've sometimes given to them. I used to struggle with corn addiction.
I have a question.
Mine.
Can your free will change your chromosomal structure? Can your conscious decision change your chromosomal structure?
I'll have to ask the Lord that when I'm up there.
No, you actually can't. And we already know that because of science on Earth. So why do we see an association alongside the XQ23 chromosome in gay men that we don't see in straight men?
What?
Why do we see an association in the XQ23 chromosome in GAY men that we don't see in straight men? Right? If it's all about conscious decision and giving in to temptation, then why do we see hard-coded biological differences?
I don't know. Ask the Lord.
Oh, you don't know? Ask the Lord? Okay, well, guess what? Your lack of a response here makes it clear that you're wrong because it's unexplainable, all right? It is not a conscious decision, and the evidence for this is the fact that there's biological associations that underpin the attractions. Also, not to mention, my friend, there's more than just the association on the XQ23 chromosome. So you have a nerve lining between the hemispheres of your brain. It's called the anterior commissure, all right? The anterior commissure is larger in gay men than it is in straight men. Same thing with varying traits of the AI NH3 subsection of the hypothalamus and dendritic density inside of it, and levels of certain neurohormones, such as FSH. These are all biological facts of your being that were hard-coded into you when you were growing in your mother's uterus.
Yes. But you can also choose to not follow those temptations.
Well,
push it deep down.
Remember, what you're saying here is you're just saying that you could choose to push the attraction deep down. Well, you understand that first and foremost, that is incredibly homophobic. We'll get around to that. But second of all, that temptation or attraction is what makes you GAY. And you said that being GAY in of itself is wrong and an abomination.
It's an abomination in the eyes of God, yes.
So then if that temptation, if those attractions are an abomination, and those attractions are a direct material result of the biological fact of the being of gay people, and the biological being of gay people was designed by God, it means that God designed them to have those attractions. So are you now saying that you are an anti-Christian heretic that does not think that God is perfect because God made a creation that is of an abomination?
God is perfect. Free will is not.
Well, remember, we're not talking about the free will and decisions. We're talking about the attractions that you can't choose that are consequential of your material being that God designed, meaning that he designed you to possess this particular biology, which gives you these attractions.
What you're describing is free will. You're describing free will.
Once again, I'm not describing free will. I'm literally
You're describing free will and sinful nature is what you're describing.
I'm not describing free will. I'm literally describing how you are biologically designed. I didn't freely choose to have blue eyes. I didn't freely choose to have blonde hair. I didn't freely choose to be 5'9". I didn't freely choose to have a 9.5 shoe size. Just like gay people didn't freely choose to have a larger anterior commissure on average, didn't freely choose to have associations along the XQ23 chromosome, and didn't choose to have varying traits of the AI NH3 subsection of the hypothalamus, you donut. Science and math is so hard for these people. It's so hard. Science is impossible. Science is just so impossible. Science is so impossible. Hey, Rebecca, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo, saying even if Kamala Harris was a mayor, it still didn't make her a child predator. Yep. Thank you for the $15, Rebecca, referencing a conversation from earlier. As well as, hey, Jenny, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo, Jenny. That is so incredibly kind of you. Jenny, with the $50 says to tell the quote-unquote hardcore Christian to actually read. Yeah, dude, I swear to God, if they started reading, their worldview would be so shaken up. Thank you for the $50, Jenny. That is so kind of you. Let's get 500 Jenny W's down below in that comment section right now. As well as Haley with the 5 and Tara with the 5 over on Venmo, and then Lillian with the $3 as well. Thank you so much. Eduardo with the $10 on PayPal says, I wish I had 10% of your patience. At this point, it's not even patience. It's just like, what's a better word? I'm so desensitized to, like, I'm just so desensitized to what the guests say, what they'll say about me, what they'll say to me. Unfortunately, that's true. As well as Mandy with the $5 on PayPal, Maya with a 6, and Jordan with a 7. Appreciate you guys so much for the love. Show some love to all of our donors down below. I'd also like to quickly thank Garrett for the $10 over on Super Chat. Show some love to Garrett down below, everybody. Okay, we have an hour left on the stream, my friends. Now, for the last hour here, unfortunately... Ooh, sorry, had to hit a quick stretch there. We do have to hit a restart. Now, the reason why we got to hit a restart is because TikTok's terms of service are pretty restrictive, and they've flagged a handful of things that I've said, that the guests have said throughout the day. If we want to keep the account and not lose access to our ability to get guests up here, we got to restart the live. So unfortunately, we're going to be doing that right now. I do have a good set of instructions for y'all on how to come back, though. First and foremost, hit that follow button. It'll be like right there. If that button is red, hit it. Make it go like white or whatever it is. Following me will allow me to pop up on your following list when we restart the live. Keep in mind the restarts take like 10 seconds. So do that now. I would also like to describe a quicker way to come back after the restart. So once I end the live, this screen will pop up on your phone. If you hit my profile picture right there, go boop, you will then be directed to my account page. Once you're on my account page, count to 10, like literally count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Refresh by swiping down on my videos, and then click back into my profile picture, and you'll be on the new live, because it only takes us 4 seconds to restart. I would like to aim for like 10,000 of you guys to come back. That'd be really cool, and hopefully I'll see us soon. We're going to go ahead and hit that restart right now. See you guys in 5 seconds. As well as Brianna with a $10. Thank you so much for the love. And yo, Kelly! Thank you so much for the $100 donation over on Venmo. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you, Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Also, so Kelly left a message. Now, Kelly has specifically asked me to read that message to myself, so you got it. I will. In fact, I'm going to screenshot it too. Thank you so much for the $100, Kelly. While we're trying to get that very first Trump supporter up of the restart, guys, I want to see you guys show some love to Kelly down below, because that is seriously so kind of you, Kelly. That is Kellie. Show some love to Kelly down below in that chat while we're working on getting that next Trump supporter loaded in. If you happen to be in here and you support Trump, hop in that queue. We'll get you pulled up here. And seriously, Kelly, thank you so much for the $100. What's up? Are you MAGA? Hello? Okay, they're not. Oh, that would be a very small child. Guys, we're only looking to talk to American adults. Also, I'd like to go and put it out there. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio. But let's go to get that next guest up here right now. Hop in that queue. If you are MAGA, we'll get you pulled up here. It'll be a good debate, quite frankly.
Here we go.
Hello, what's up? How old are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I am 22 years of age.
And what year
There's
were you,
my face.
And what year were you born in?
2003.
Great. And do you support Trump?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, there's some things that get kind of weird with, like, all the Epstein stuff. I try to kind of just, like, ignore all that.
Okay, well, you can't just ignore all that. What the fuck?
Okay, like, I know it's bad to ignore, true, but since Trump has been in office, my crypto wallet's been doing really well. So, like, maybe selfishly, I'm kind of like, well...
So crypto's gone up. It has. My crypto's gone up.
Wow. Well, then why are we complaining?
Oh, well, yeah, because, at the expense of my crypto wallet going up, because the bipartisan genius bill that was drafted by a Democrat was passed, which would have also passed if Kamala Harris was elected. 10 million low-income Americans had to lose health care. 3 million of them had to lose food stamps. 156 million Americans now have lower purchasing power because of Trump's big, beautiful bill. Our debt had to be ballooned. He added nearly $5 trillion to it in the last 200 days. So on and so forth. Seemingly, there's much greater levels of harm being caused to this country and the people in it than the individual gain you're experiencing by maybe having an extra $50 in your crypto wallet.
I also did. I did hear that our gambling winnings get taxed at a different rate now due to the big beautiful bill. So that's definitely not fun. Like something about maybe you can deduct only like 90% of your winnings and 100% of your losses or something silly. That's ridiculous.
So overall, I mean, like, what do you want more? 10 million low-income Americans to have access to healthcare, or you have a little bit more in your crypto wallet?
Ah, crap. I see what you're saying, and you bring up a good point. I just don't see another option. I don't see I know this wasn't the question. I know it's about supporting Trump, but when it came to the election time, I did not see a feasible outcome for this country. When I walked into that ballot room, I was like, crap, I'm voting for evil or lesser of two evils. And I might have chosen the more evil option, but like, things really have been that different.
Yes, they really would have been that different. Once again, we keep talking about him. 10 million people wouldn't have lose health care if Harris was elected. Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'll let you sit on that one, my friend. We're going to move on to the next guest. You know, I just get a real bad taste put in my mouth when people come up here arguing about crypto. And it's not even because I have like a disposition against crypto. You know, I've been in crypto forever. Well, let me tell you guys, I took all my money out in like COVID out of crypto, but I left a very low amount of money in on my ledger, on my cold wallet. I had like a couple coins that like 100x'd because I forgot about them for 5 years. Right? So I don't have a bias against crypto. I just have a bias against the crypto bros, you know? What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, absolutely. Why? I want to know a good reason why I shouldn't.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. He's a rapist.
Is there any fact on that?
Yeah, for sure. The unanimous ruling of a jury of 9 in a civil court. There's also like many other reasons.
When was that?
When was this? In 2023.
Wasn't he proven unguilty for that one?
No, he's actually proven guilty.
They were all unproven guilty.
Boom.
Okay, so then why is he still in office?
Because it was a civil court, and Trump supporters don't care.
But that's in our Constitution.
What's in our Constitution?
Our Constitution is if you are in criminally, like if you do something incriminating, you aren't supposed to be able to run for president, correct?
Incorrect. The thing in our Constitution that you'd be thinking about is the 5th section of the 14th Amendment that would prevent an individual found guilty of an insurrection from running for a public office. But it's funny because I think he's actually guilty of that too. In 2020, he sent fake slates of electorates to 7 different of our key swing states that Biden won that he lost with, fake votes, to send back to Congress to illegally change the outcome of the election in an attempt to rig it, and then admitted to it all in court, but was able to draft and create a legal argument that because he was president when he did it, it was an official act of his presidency, he should be immune from any and all criminal repercussions. And then he was able to pay his billionaire lawyers to get it pushed off like 5 times until after he won the 2024 election. And then once he won the 2024 election, he literally fired the prosecutor, Jack Smith. Yeah.
All right. So another thing, you're obviously a Kamala supporter, correct?
Big time.
Okay. Why though?
Why? Yeah, because she was great. She wanted everyone to pay less for healthcare. You know, she wanted to limit the amount that any American citizen.
The economy. That's our worst thing right now, right?
Well, okay. Well, she ran on tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class, unlike Trump, who's actually effectively increasing the taxes of everybody making at or beneath $51,000 per year per projections from the CBPP, which would be the Committee on a Responsible. No. I'm sorry. The Committee on Budget and Policy Priorities.
But what would they have done for us in the next, let's say, 2 decades?
What would tax cuts have done for you?
Wouldn't that have repercussions for us in the future?
What repercussions?
Obviously, our country would get a lot more poorer, and then with Trump doing all these tariffs, obviously we're getting more money back, right?
You're saying that our country would be poorer if we cut the taxes of the average American. No, our country would be richer.
Well, because we're paying into the government?
No, because we're paying less into the government, so we have more purchasing power.
Right, but we're paying, at that point, then we're paying different countries. Right.
What
More. The big thing, all right, let's say why I voted for Trump was for the tariffs. All right.
But the tariffs suck.
So
They
we
reduce
get more
innovation
money.
in the American market, and the money that's raised off them is paid for by low-income Americans.
Right, but we're using that money for United States cities and roads.
No,
et cetera, correct?
no. Actually, if you want to know who's using money to build roads, that was Biden when he passed the infrastructure bill. Trump is using that money to fund more tax cuts for billionaires, such as the $4.5 trillion big beautiful bill he passed 2 months ago.
Right. Okay. So for instance, I live in Michigan. Trump's changed a lot down in Michigan of our oil. I didn't really see Biden do anything for Michigan or anything like that. I didn't hear anything like that. So
Did you say
can I
oil?
hear something? Or yeah, we have our our oil reserves over there.
Yeah, did you know that nobody's ever produced more oil than Biden did?
Okay. When was that though? Why wasn't that ever brought up? And
Why
not-
was
not-
it? Why
not to
was it
mention-
never ever brought up? Good point. See, there's maybe
Right,
one of my critiques
right.
of the Dems. They didn't talk about this too much. No, but if you go to EI.gov, which is the Energy Information Administration, you can look at a graph of the domestic production of crude oil in this country since the 19th century, and the highest we've ever produced was literally under the Biden-Harris administration, where we produced more than 13 million barrels of crude oil per day from July of 2023 until the end of their term. More than Trump in his first
But then
term.
gas prices went up.
Yeah, because
gas prices went
there's
up
still a lower global supply as we cut off oil from Russia and OPEC reduced their output by 10%. Oil's not a domestic market, it's a global market. So even though we were producing a shit ton, other countries were selling less to us.
Right. So, and that's what I'm saying is with like Trump putting the tariffs in, wasn't that also a good idea?
Actually, for oil,
Oh,
no,
or-
because the tariffs reduced oil imports into America by 41% in the first quarter of this year, which in the long term will eventually result in a reciprocal effect of higher gas prices.
Okay, so explain to me why the gas prices went up then.
Under Biden?
Because
For
that
the
didn't
same
happen
reason
under
why I
Trump.
just said they will probably go up in the future under Trump, it's because of a lower global supply of oil coming into America. Lower supply.
Well, in Michigan, the
same
gas
demand.
prices have gone down.
In the last
They've
couple
gone
months?
down in Michigan.
Yeah, they've
Oh,
gone down
yeah.
in the last couple months because in Q1, Trump crashed the markets by 7%, including future markets on oil. So a bunch of people were able to get a bunch of oil for really, really cheap, but that was a recession indicator, my friend.
But wasn't the whole Trump thing was for the market as well, and the market's going up right now.
I know, which
Well,
once again is
some
why I
of the
said
market.
that low priced oil is short-lived.
Right. So then it was. So was it not a good idea to put tariffs in, right?
Well, I don't know what tariffs have to do like with. Well, I guess the tariffs caused this. No, tariffs are bad.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we should have put tariffs in, right?
why?
That's the good thing. So why?
So why was it a good thing
is it not a good
to
thing for
impose
voting for
tariffs on
Trump
every other
with
country
the-
on Earth?
With the well, obviously, if the U.S. is getting ripped off for decades, I mean, wouldn't you want to do something about it, right?
Who are we getting ripped off by?
Well, we were giving money out to multiple different countries, Ukraine.
Wait. So you're saying that Donald Trump imposed tariffs
everywhere?
So you're saying that Donald Trump imposed tariffs on every other country on the planet because we were getting ripped off by voluntarily sending money to Ukraine, which Donald Trump resumed in July.
Well, just not
What?
not Ukraine though, like everywhere. China
How does
with our
Ukraine?
plastic,
How does
our-
Ukraine even like fit into that picture at all? How does
I'm
us giving
just
money
using
to
them as an
Ukraine
example
have
of-
anything to do with why you think imposing tariffs on every other country in the world is good?
Because we've been getting ripped off for several decades.
What do you? Several decades. We started giving them funding
Right.
like 3 years ago, given the Budapest
Right.
Memorandum was enacted from Russia's from Russia's invasion in February of 2022. Few decades. I have
Right,
no
and then
clue what
when
you're
Trump
talking
put
about.
tariffs on, we've
Wait,
got.
wait,
we've
one
got
second.
more
Can we clear that
income.
up? What do you mean few decades? We started giving the military funding in February of 2022.
Right. But what I'm
was
saying is, I'm
February
not
of
just saying
2022 a few
that-
decades ago, or like 3 or 4 years ago?
No, that was a couple of years ago. But
Okay,
I'm just
and
saying.
then how are we
since
getting ripped off by them?
2000s.
I have a question. How are we getting ripped off by Ukraine?
Just look at the numbers.
Wait, just because
I mean,
you're
not-
giving
not just
because
Ukraine,
you're giving
I'm
money
just
to
using them
something
as
doesn't
an
mean that
example.
you're getting ripped off by them. What does it mean to be ripped off?
Well, obviously, if we're not getting something in return, that's obviously. I mean, yes, we're helping them, but I'm not just saying as Ukraine. I'm saying as China, as our plastic.
Okay, let's just assume.
as
One
Russia,
second.
as our oil,
One second.
You know,
Let's just assume that we were truly getting nothing in return from Ukraine by giving them money, which isn't true, because funding them puts more international pressure on Russia to be weaker and to end their invasion, which serves the better interests of global and domestic security in alignment with the goals of NATO. We're going to ignore that for now. We're just going to say that we're giving them money, helping them, and getting nothing in return. So here's my question. Have you ever voluntarily donated to a charity?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Would you say because you voluntarily gave them money and you got nothing in return that they were ripping you off?
Well, no, but if I'm working with them,
no,
and
obviously not. So yeah, even assuming
I'm not gonna have
that
a problem
everything
with
that
it.
I just described about us funding Ukraine and how it furthers our national security concerns and global concerns in relations to the goals of NATO, assuming none of that is true, we were voluntarily giving it to them through our elected representatives and annual or quarterly budget bills to help supply their military to prevent the deaths of more innocent Ukrainian families.
Absolutely.
Right? So how are we getting ripped off?
Well, I'm not saying as just that. I'm just saying as like for China, as our
Wait,
plastic,
don't pivot to
you know.
China. You gave an example of Ukraine,
I'm
and
not.
then you reaffirmed 3 times that they were ripping us off.
Right.
Stay on
I just
Ukraine.
used them
How are
as-
they ripping us off?
Okay. Well, I'm not really saying we're helping them. Obviously, they're not really ripping us off. But before the war, let's say, what were we getting in return? Right? Obviously,
We weren't giving them
getting
money
a portion
before the
of-
war. What?
Before the war, we've been giving money out to everywhere. Before the war, we've been giving money out.
What money were
That's
we
what-
giving
that's
to
what-
Ukraine prior to Russia's invasion of them?
Well, before let's our product, or plastic, metal, iron.
Wait, we were
whatever
selling
they make
goods to
over
them.
there, right?
We were engaging in the global market of transactions.
Right, that's part of their trade, right? We all trade.
Wait, so you think that selling goods to Ukraine, generating money for American companies, was Ukraine ripping us off? So if you're a business owner, let's say that you own a hamburger stand, and somebody comes up to you and gives you $10, and in exchange, you give them a hamburger, would you say that they ripped you off because you gave them one of your hamburgers?
Well, no, because I'm getting something in return.
Oh, okay. So obviously, when we sell things to Ukraine, we get money in return because they're buying it from us.
After we put tariffs in, right?
What do the tariffs have to do with any of this? You're talking about global commerce,
obviously now we're
like
getting
in the
money
last
from
couple
different
decades.
companies. I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all, but obviously,
Then also, tariffs have nothing to do with the goods that we sell to Ukraine. What is a tariff?
well, a tariff is something in order that obviously makes it so you have to give something in return.
There
right?
you go. You don't even know what a tariff is, my friend. A tariff is a tax on an import. Okay, it's a tax on an import.
A good.
No, it's a tax on an
a good.
import. So if we're selling goods to Ukraine,
right?
Are we exporting goods to Ukraine or are we importing goods from
obviously-
Ukraine? If we're selling
we're
goods
importing,
to
obviously.
Ukraine. No, wrong. If we're selling goods to Ukraine, such as you suggested, we are exporting goods to Ukraine. What would a tax
I
on an
said that the
import
first time,
have to
yes.
do with exports to Ukraine?
But what I'm saying is the bottom line is once we put tariffs in, obviously our country was getting money in return, right?
Our country was getting
instead
money
of giving
in
so much
return
goods
for
and
what?
not getting anything in return, right? We were giving so much goods out and not getting anything in return. Well, I'm not gonna say not getting anything in return.
Okay,
but we
can
were
I-
getting such a low.
I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop pretending.
You get what I'm saying, or
No, I'm gonna stop
I'm
pretending
not trying.
like you're making.
I'm not trying to be
any sense.
disrespectful or anything. I'm really just trying to.
I don't get the
ask a
vibes that
question.
you. I don't get the vibes that you're trying to be disrespectful. But even though, like,
Okay, awesome.
like, unfortunately, even though I get it, you're trying not to be disrespectful. You're also not making any sense.
Absolutely. I'm sorry about that.
No,
I'm just
no,
trying
man.
to,
Listen. I'm trying to be as nice as possible about this. But I just, frankly, you're not making any sense.
I'm just trying to wonder on Another. Okay, let's just switch over to a different topic. Another thing. Do you trust Kamala in a room full of leaders, world leaders,
obviously
talking about a war?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, I trust her
Just give
significantly
me
more
an
than Trump.
example of why. And obviously, you know, I believe, you know, women rights. Women can do that. Obviously, I'm just saying, like, the pressure and you know, that's something that never's been handled in history, right?
By who?
I mean, when have we had a woman president?
Oh. Ooh, you think that men are better at leading than women?
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
Men are better at
I'm just
dealing
saying
with
that
pressure
other
and
people
stress
can
than
look
women?
at that. No, I'm just saying as other dictators can look at that as a weakness, right? And try to urge more, right?
So is that weakness true? Do women deal with pressure and stress worse than men?
No, absolutely not.
So then
Absolutely not.
why did
I've
you?
seen some strong ass women, you know.
So once again, now you're just being incoherent again because you started to argue that they deal with it worse by saying things when have they dealt with that pressure historically, or why haven't we had a woman president? But then as soon as I just ask you to be clear on what your view is, so I know what to respond to, now
Right.
you're like
I'm
backtracking
saying-
on it by saying that you never suggest that in a billion years. Which one is it?
Right.
Do you think that women deal with pressure and stress worse than men on average, or not?
Okay. Well, no.
Okay,
But
so
let me
if
ask
women
you
don't
a
deal with
question.
pressure or stress worse on average than men, then what is your point?
I'm gonna get to that right now. Let's say if Putin and Kamala sat down, would you not think that Putin would try to, you know, dictate her emotions or, you know, try to urge that more?
Would Putin try to manipulate Kamala Harris?
Like, do you not believe? Right.
Yes, Putin
do you not
would,
believe that she
Putin would attempt to manipulate Kamala Harris, just like Putin
Right.
does manipulate Trump.
or even any dictator? You don't think that that would happen?
Yes, nearly every dictator will attempt to manipulate whoever they are sitting down with to get what they want. So now the question would be, who would be better at navigating said manipulation, Trump or Harris?
Navigating said situation, well, obviously, Trump's more of a businessman, so obviously he sits down and creates more deals, and I mean, Kamala, what I've heard is just more drama than sitting down and
So then
doing
why
what
has
needs to be
Putin
done.
already been successfully manipulating Trump? He manipulated Trump into defunding Ukraine by pushing Kremlin propaganda in American media, convincing Trump of that position, while then also convincing Trump that if he were to defund Ukraine, he would be more willing to engage in peace talks. After Trump defunded Ukraine, he was less willing to engage in peace talks, didn't further the dialogue, and just hit Ukraine the hardest that he ever has. Oh, and then Trump responded to that by saying, I have no clue what Putin's doing. This isn't like him. This isn't the Putin I know. He got fucking played. Trump has already been played by Putin.
Israel?
Can you give me an example of Kamala Harris being played by Putin? Because I just gave you a very clear example of Trump being played by Putin.
Well, when has Kamala even got in contact with Putin?
Exactly. The Biden-Harris administration preferred the strategy of continuing to ramp up more international pressure on Russia by working with NATO and also funding Ukraine ourselves into forcing them to accept a fair peace / ceasefire agreement and seceding Ukrainian land before even entertaining talks with him, knowing that it would make us look weaker if we were to bend the knee to Putin, defund Ukraine like he wanted us to, and then suffer the reciprocal effects of him going harder on Ukraine than making us look weak by rejecting our peace talks. They actually were able to successfully navigate a strategy and relationship to Russia and Ukraine that was not only better as it applied more pressure, but made us look stronger because we weren't letting our knee get bent to a foreign dictator.
Right. Okay. So not talking to our problems and running away from them is that wouldn't lead into a war? You don't think Putin not having contact or anything wouldn't take that as disrespect? That's why everything's happening right now. That's why the whole thing why Trump was elected was to try to not finish the war, but
So you said
come up
that.
with
So
a
you
peace
said that it'd be
agreement, right?
worse for global tensions if we didn't talk to them. Okay, then how come since we've started to talk to him, it's gotten worse?
From our problems.
The empirical,
we can't run away from our problems.
The empirical outcome disagrees with you. Since we've started to talk to Putin and bend the knee, global tensions have gotten worse since Russia's only been hitting the victim harder due to the fact that the victim is now weaker, due to the fact that we defunded them for 2 months. The real world outcomes disagree with your silly hypothetical.
How is that hypothetical if you're running away from your problems?
Why are you repeating
if you're not
yourself?
Speaking to your demons and running away from your problems.
Why are you repeating yourself? You just told me that you think if we didn't talk to Putin until he was willing to achieve a fair ceasefire agreement while still putting more international pressure on Russia by funding Ukraine and working with NATO, that would be bad and lead to more global tensions. Listen to my response. Let me know when I have your attention.
That's what happened, though.
Let me know when I have your attention.
No, absolutely. I'm sorry.
There was lower levels of global tensions when Biden and Harris were running our country compared to the higher levels of global tension now that Trump is running the country. I will now articulate to you very specifically how this is the case in relation to Russia and Ukraine. After Trump bent the knee, defunded Ukraine, and showed his hand to Putin, calling him a good guy and a great leader, Putin then took that as an allowance for more commotion, more bombs, and more killing that would be swept under the rug and allowed by our government. So then he dropped more bombs, he sent more troops, and he killed more people. The conflict has gotten significantly worse in the last 200 days because of Donald Trump's approach. Those are the empirical facts, sir. The empirical facts of what has actually happened in the last 225 days compared to the year or 2 years before that proves you wrong.
Okay. But another thing is under the Biden administration, we didn't have this problem. We didn't have Russia killing and all this other, and then us also getting involved is another big thing. NATO should just be involved, correct? And that's another thing. Under the Biden administration, none of this was happening.
But
as soon as the Biden administration,
under the Biden, quote unquote, under the Biden administration, none of this was happening. Right. Good.
Well, obviously, I mean, people weren't dying, right? That was good, right?
So
people weren't dying, right?
Are you just like a crazy liberal now?
No, I'm not liberal.
Yeah,
no,
so you pivoted away from my massive critique of Trump and his involvement with Russia and Ukraine and my refutation of your point. And your pivot was to saying that the Biden-Harris administration did this really well, and when they were serving, none of these bad things were happening. Okay.
I never said that they did them really well. I said under the Biden administration, this all started.
Oh, that's what you meant to say.
Correct.
No. So you said the first time around, you said under the Biden-Harris administration, none of this was happening. Now you're saying under the Biden-Harris administration, this all started.
No. What I meant to say is
for sure.
Under the Biden administration.
So Russia invaded Ukraine in February of 2022, which was when Biden was president. The thing is, the Biden-Harris administration didn't cause them to do that.
Okay, but they could have easily stopped it because he was in office, right?
Okay, and how could they have easily stopped it?
I mean, obviously, they were running away from their demons.
You're not answering my question. How could they easily have stopped it?
Well, I mean, obviously they could have anything.
Anything? And that's not specific enough. How could they easily have stopped it?
Easily, I mean, obviously got in contact with Putin and Ukraine. Y'all could have been
wrong. Nope. Contact with Putin already ruled out as a way to easily stop it. Donald Trump has proved that he's been in contact with Putin for the last 250 days. It's only gotten worse. Try again, my friend. How could they have easily have stopped it?
They've been in meetings and everything's been honestly a lot better than the Biden administration.
Wrong. Not in alignment with reality. Wrong. Not in alignment with reality. You just said that things have been better in the last 200 days. Russia has launched their largest attacks and bombs yet against Ukraine, and Ukraine has launched their largest retaliatory responses yet. Wrong. And he ran away. God, dude. You know what? I want to duplicate myself about 1,000 times and put the variants of Dean on like all of like the mainstream Republican news pundits. Okay, right? Because he was just repeating what he heard on the TV. Okay, but it's just not true. It's by the way, who's running from their problems now? Because he left, he ran away. Who's running from their problems now? Interesting. Very peculiar. Interesting. Nico, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. I appreciate that. As well as, hey, Molly, thank you so much for the $11 on PayPal, saying thank you for being a safe space and a role model. Well, Molly, I appreciate you for being here, and thank you for the $11 donation. Eduardo with a 10 as well. Thank you so much, Eduardo. I'd also like to quickly thank a handful of other people. Kayla, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. Thank you so much. As well as Phil. Thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Phil, that's so kind of you, man. Everybody watching, show some love to Phil down below in that comment section. You're awesome, my man. Phil with the $20 says, first donation. You and David Pakman are my favorite left-leaning creators. It is crazy after all these awful months, people don't know what tariffs are. Fucking wild. You know what, Phil? You're right. Can we talk about that real quick? He was telling us that he supports Trump because of the tariffs and doesn't even know what a tariff is. You know, I'm going to be honest. That is fucking wild. You got a point there, Phil. As well as John. Thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying, Dean, as an educator, I'm interested in hearing more about your college experience and whether you see yourself pursuing a degree in the future. I give a monthly to the ACLU, and I'm not getting ripped off because both have sued Trump. Hell yeah, John. No, I mean, I think I am inevitably going to go back to school and get a degree in the future, especially if I want a future in politics. Like, you kind of do need a college degree if you want to, be in politics, be respected and meet the minimum. So it'll probably be something that I do in the future. Welcome in, Mary. What's up? Are you MAGA? No, they're not here. So, I mean, I might inevitably go back. I mean, I only have 2 years left, and I dropped out of college to focus on this, and that was a good decision. I actually stand by it. I stand by it. What's up? Do you support Trump, Alyssa?
No, I'm on my girlfriend's account. I was just...
well, I hope you have a good rest of your day, man. Just looking to talk to Trump supporters. I don't know why everybody in the chat is spamming Frozen. It's not Frozen, quite frankly. Maybe it was Frozen for a second, but it's better now. Who knows? Let's go and get that next guest up in here right now. Hop in that queue if you are MAGA. Who is next? We got Kellen loading up. And hey, Kristen! Oh my goodness gracious. Miss Kristen with the $50 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Kristen. That is so incredibly kind of you. Kristen with a 50 big ones says, all the positive vibes. Hope you are doing okay. You know what, Kristen? I'm not going to lie. Today's a little bit rough. A little bit worse than others. But, we managed nonetheless. I appreciate you for the $50. That is so incredibly kind. Let's get 500 Kristen W's down below in that chat for the $50. Yo, Radical Right Wing, can I get a W Kristen from you for her $50 donation to me?
I can give her an L.
No, give her a W.
A big L.
No, give her a W.
A big L.
Somebody's
just like your hook nose.
Somebody's pissed. I also got to thank John for the $25 donation over on Venmo. John,
another L from John. Big shout out to John. Big L.
Why do you think it's an L to donate to me?
I mean, it's just money. Money hungry, man.
Wait, you're saying that I'm money hungry? Why would you say I'm money hungry?
Hey, money hungry, bro. Hey, bro, put that down. That's illegal, man.
Give an argument for it.
Smoking that vape.
It's not a vape.
Yeah, what's that THC?
Oh, no, you can't. Now I got to kick you. You can't say that.
Bro? Oh, come on.
You get violates TikTok. Do you have another account?
I'll just crash out. Fuck niggers.
Oh my Jesus Christ. Okay. We're going to move on to the next guest. I apologize. You guys had to hear that. We're going to go to get that next guest, Carter Stone, up in here right now. Seriously, John, I appreciate you for the $20. John with the $25 says, sheesh, your strength inspires me. I appreciate you for that love, John. That is incredibly kind of you. As well as Megan, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Megan says, thank you for all that you do. Dean, I love listening to you. Keep fighting the good fight. Megan, that is incredibly kind of you. I appreciate you and everybody else that has been so kind in supporting me today. You guys mean a lot. Thank you so much. Show some love to Megan down below for the $20. As well as Kai, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal, saying it's starting to look like a Griftmas. Yeah, we're grifting hard. We're grifting so hard. What's up, Jay Reed?
What's up, bro?
Yo, are you one of those crazies that supports Trump?
Look, I'm not crazy, but I do like Trump, and I hate to say you and Parker are gonna like eventually have to get over it, man. He's president.
Oh,
like y'all have to come up with something new to talk about. He won. Y'all being on TikTok is not helping him or not helping y'all at all.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. He's president for the next 4 years, bro. Get over it.
Unless he dies.
He's not gonna die, bro. He done got shot in the ear. He got passed. It's not gonna happen.
So true, Reed. So true. Well,
like y'all need to bounce off his dick, bro. Like get off.
Whoa!
Like real shit, man.
Well, listen. All right, Reed. Listen.
Like I'm not trying to hate on y'all. I know what y'all are doing.
Listen,
you don't
here's
hear
the
clout.
thing.
You try to get money. It's okay.
Wait. You think I do this to try to get money?
I sure do. I see y'all on here for over like a lot of weeks, bro. I see it and I watch it. And I'm like, damn.
It's not that I do this to make money. It's that I do this and I make money from it.
Okay, I want to see y'all talk about something different.
1 second. I have a couple people that donated to me that I need to thank for their money. Like Curtis just donated me $21 and said, keep up the good fight. And Roxanne donated $25 and says, thank you for everything that you do, Dean.
That's
Roxanne,
what I'm talking about, bro.
thank you for the money. Curtis with the money. I'm actually going to give 5 big monies for the $21 and the $25 donation from Curtis and Roxanne. Money,
why you talk about
money,
It's
money,
about money, bro.
money.
That's all it's about.
Whoa, sir, I'm so sorry. I gotta charge you $5 if you want to stay up here longer. Can you send me $5 on the Venmo?
Exactly. You got to charge people money to talk
Cash,
shit
thank
to
you so much for the $5 on Venmo. Let's go, the money. Thank you so much. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go ahead and put the Venmo and the PayPal on the top of the screen. We're gonna blow it up so it's extra large. Take a good look, folks.
Why don't you and Parker talk about something different? Y'all have nothing else to talk about.
I fucked up my stream. 1 second. I gotta fix this. There we go.
Y'all been doing this for weeks, and it doesn't help you at all.
All right, we're going to respond to the meat on the bone here. So you're asking me why I don't do anything different. Well, I mean, the subjects kind of vary day by day depending on the new deplorable things that the Trump administration does. And then for you to suggest that this somehow doesn't help at all or doesn't further my goals here, well, Pew Research Center just ranked me one of the 25 most influential independent journalists in American politics. So I don't know about that.
Okay, do me a favor. Is Trump still president?
Is Trump president? Yes.
Exactly. Y'all ain't doing shit. You and Parker ain't doing
my
nothing.
immediate goal isn't to change the fact that Trump is president, but rather to change the social support around Trump's presidency. So hopefully he will be influenced or pressured into doing less heinous things as the general public is more aware of the heinous things he is doing. Now, like a secondary or like third order goal of mine, of course, would be impeachment for Epstein, incompetency, etc. I just don't think that's as likely. So the first goal, once again, is just to increase social support against him and awareness of specifically the bad things that he's doing that are ruining lives. And this is going to be...
Bro, you're talking about the Epstein. There ain't no proof on him doing shit with Epstein at all. Like, what is the proof? I've been watching Trump for like a minute. I've been seeing all these Epstein survivors talking about their list. Trump ain't on that. There ain't no proof that Trump is on that at all.
Oh, yeah, he is. The DOJ literally told Trump that he was on it in May. And then that was reported on by the Washington Post, who's owned by the Murdoch family that also owns Fox News. But hey, I gotta thank some people for the money. Ashley, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo, saying glad to see you're still alive after your 21st. Also, fuck this hillbilly spewing crap right now. Let's go, Ashley. Thank you for the $20.
Money and clout, bro.
Yo,
It's
one
money and clout for
second.
y'all.
Can I have you pipe down while I thank another donation, such as Christy with the $50 donation over on Venmo, saying money, money, money. Let's go, Christy. I want everybody to show some love to Christy for the $50 donation and Ashley with the $20 donation down below in that chat. Can you say W, Christy, for the $50?
Do you and Parker have a job? At all?
Oh, this is a job, my friend.
Exactly. You can't get a real job, so you're on here for clout, bro. That's the only way you're making money.
Wait, define job.
Define job, get your ass out that seat and go work.
Wait, what is
Besides talking shit
define
about
work?
Trump. That's all y'all do.
Define work.
That's the fine job. Get your ass out of that seat and go work for your money besides talking shit about Trump.
Well, I know, but like most of the time, people would define work as an exchange of labor for like financial, for financial means, like money, exchanging your labor for money. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm inputting my labor, working on you because you're such a tool, and receiving money, like $20 from Garrett over on Super Chat saying, "Keep up the good work, kid." Thank you for the $20, Garrett. Show some love to Garrett down below in that chat, as well as Nicholas. Thank you for the $50 over on Venmo. Let's go, Nicholas, saying I can't help it. Sheeple got a sheeple.
What's the real last job you had?
Well, 1 second. We're doing it right now. I'm getting paid for the job right now. Like the $50 from Nicholas, the $20 for Garrett, or the $20 from Ashley saying, "Just wanted to say fuck that hillbilly again. Get pushed." Thank you for the $20 for the job, Ashley. Then Rain with the $4 on Venmo for the job. Jamie with the $10 on PayPal saying long time listener, first time donor, get money for your job. As well as Sarah with the $5 on Venmo saying keep working harder than Uncle Cousin. Thank you for the love, you guys. Show some love to all the
You
donors.
and Parker are kids. Y'all don't go out there and work for your money, man.
Wait, I'm working right now.
Y'all sit here and talk shit and make money and for clout. Y'all do this every day for like a bunch of weeks and months. Y'all didn't do nothing to help change about Trump being president.
You sound really jealous.
Like, y'all ain't done a goddamn thing. Like,
I feel like
Charlie
you're really,
Kirk.
I feel like you're
Charlie
really jealous.
Kirk is the one who helped Trump. Y'all ain't do nothing. Y'all ain't put him
Yo,
down
be honest.
or
Are
help stop him.
you jealous?
I'm not jealous, bro.
It sounds like you're
I make
jealous.
more money than you.
Megan, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo saying, "Here's your paycheck, Dean." This guy's an idiot. Thank you for the $20 on Venmo, Megan. Yo, real quick, can you say W, Megan?
I don't know what that is.
It's this kid, him and Parker, be talking shit about Trump because they got nothing else to do with their life.
Is that the wife, the mom, the cousin, or all three?
You're the one talking back.
That's my fiance, and I'm telling you, she works too.
Virginia, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo saying thank you for all that you do.
Man.
Thank you for the $20, Virginia. Thank you for the $20 for the job. Carion with the $10 over on PayPal for the job. Then Abigail with the $5 on Venmo for the paycheck. I'd also like to quickly thank El Valentine for the $10 Australian dollars over on Super Chat from my boss. Daniel with the $2 on Venmo saying money, money, money. Alyssa with the $10 saying I love watching. Here's some money. Thank you for the love, Alyssa. I appreciate you guys all for the paychecks for the job. Thank you for the paychecks for the job. Brenda, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. 1 second, sir. I'm still thanking my donors. Brenda, thank you so much for the $15. They say, while that they fight so hard for this fucked up capitalist system, but then get mad when you're making money the best capitalist way possible, be mad. You know, I do gotta say, I feel like I make money like rather benevolently. Like compared to like the ways that other people make money or can make money, like I feel like I make it like rather ethically, you know?
Bruh, you just talk shit about Trump because you're lazy.
Well,
get your ass the fuck up out the goddamn chair.
If I'm so lazy, then why have I input significantly more time, dedication, energy, and effort into research on these things than you have or ever will in your life?
You got nothing else to do with your life besides sit there on the fucking computer, not do you?
Wait, so now you're just saying, oh, I have nothing better to do with my life than research things that are important for the future of humanity?
If I had time like you to bullshit on a computer and a phone all day, try to do research, fuck that. That's stupid, bro. Get a goddamn job and do something.
Listen to what you just said. You literally, and I quote, just said that doing research is stupid.
Yeah, you just try to figure out shit to talk about Trump. That's all you do.
Bro, do you hear yourself?
President, get the fuck over it.
Do you hear yourself?
Real shit, bro.
You just said that doing research is stupid.
Because you're lazy and you won't get a goddamn job.
This is a job, my friend. Define job.
This ain't
Literally
a job, bro.
define the word
this is clout
job.
for you and Parker. I have nothing going on with your life. You ain't nothing but a fucking kid.
Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, old
like a fucking
man.
kid, 'cause you ain't got nothing.
If 20-year-olds are kids, then Trump said he wanted to date a kid when he said he dated a 10.
No.
Wait, actually, I do have calluses on my hands. Look at them.
That's bullshit. You need to start jerking it then.
Whoa.
That shit ain't, no, hell no.
Whoa, dude, I don't get these from jorking it. I get them from going to the gym and doing real labor like a real
You
man.
don't look buff at all. You ain't nothing but a pencil.
Come on, bro. I look
out of here.
I look pretty decent.
That's a pencil, bro.
Oh, I look pretty decent. Look at that bicep. It's coming in. It's not necessarily like the best lighting.
That's not a bicep. That's a little lump.
Come on, man. Come on. It looks pretty good. I'm looking decent.
You know what? I think you and Parker are cool if you talk about something else. Y'all been talking about Trump for months, and it ain't helped nothing at all.
Whether Trump is president or not, he's still a piece of shit. He is. Trump's just a piece of shit. He may have been better than Camellia, but he's still a piece
Kamala.
of shit.
You gotta say her name
Whatever
right.
the fuck
Kamala.
that bitch's name is. He is a piece of shit.
But I'm just saying, people who stay on here and just talk shit about other people will not
You
get a
watching
job.
him though? You feeding into it? Dumbass.
Me and my girl, we're different about shit, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. Y'all need to get up and talk about
Oh,
something.
that was your
Go get a job.
fiance?
Yeah, that's my
I
fiance.
thought that was like a 12-year-old kid. Yo, no, but listen. No, listen. She was cooking, though.
buddy.
She was cooking. She was cooking your ass. You're a fucking fraud. Listen to her. Listen to
I'm a
her.
fraud?
Yeah, she said that Trump's a piece of shit. She's
Hold on,
cooking.
hold on.
She's cooking. Listen, I disagree. I disagree
This
with
little
like.
guy said I'm a fraud.
You're a fraud.
Yes.
You're a fraud. I outcast your demon. I outcast the demon inside of your soul, making you a fraud.
But real shit, we all gonna talk about something new.
You know what's some real shit? The $50 donation I just got from GNAFF on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you for the $50. That is incredibly kind. Show some love to GNAFF down below in that chat. GNAFF says, money, let's go. I really appreciate you for the $50. B. Carey with a $10 saying, this guy's dumb. I appreciate you for the love. And then Savannah with a $5 on Venmo for the job. Mariah with a $2 on Venmo for the job. And then Rick with a $69 over on Venmo. Let's get 700 Rick W's down below in the chat. Rick said, and I quote, lol, the fiance hates him too. Yeah, she does. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much for the $69. That's
But do me a
seriously
favor,
insane.
when
And then also
you
Megan,
look it up,
one
bro.
second, I'm still thanking people for their donations to my job. Can you calm down, you impatient child?
Fine, bro.
Thank you so much. Megan with the $20 on Venmo says, Dean, enjoy some hard work carrying all the heavy money to the bank. Thank you for the $20, Megan. Show some love to Megan down below. Lisa with the $25 for the money. Algira with the $20 for the lotta bunch of weeks and months. Thank you for the love. Richard with the $10. Thank you so much saying that this hillbilly's envious. Thank you so much. Derek with the $10 saying, I love how mad you make these dumb hillbillies. Jacqueline with the $15 saying, here's some money for your job. Then Haley with the $10 saying money. Casey with the $5. Riley with the $5. Amanda with the $6. Holy shit, you guys are popping off. Savannah with the $5. Nicolette with the $10 saying, take my money. Tara with the $5 saying, thank you for what you do. Here's some money for your job. Cole with the $20 saying that this guy sucks. Michaela with the $10 for the real job. And Kai with the $10. Thank you so much as well. Maga Cries with the $5 on PayPal. And then Bernadette with the $5 on Venmo as well. So you're asking me the question, what is the last real job I had? Obviously, I think this is a real job. But if you're asking me what other jobs have I worked? Well, point number one, I was the creative director at a 7-figure e-commerce store that made and produced dog treats in person and then sold them online. I basically went into the company to scale and build their online revenue portals, as I have a background in full stack web development, creative direction, and I basically help them renew their website. I help them make their their manufacturing more efficient, and I streamlined a lot of the navigation and their finances. And then before that, once again, I just ran my own full stack web development firm. We built out web applications for real estate companies. We built out web applications for e-commerce. For a lot of e-commerce brands. We built out web applications for geotechnical engineering firms. And my qualifications for that were the 2 International Website Development Awards. I won back-to-back in 2022 and then once again in 2023. And then before that, I worked at Wendy's.
It sounds like you need to go do some IT work. Besides just doing this shit, besides talking shit about Trump all the time.
I gotta thank you. Goodbye. They got a flag. Hey, Sammy, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying, just tuning in, this is the most quintessential MAGA convo I've ever heard. I wish I could have talked to him a little bit more. Jocelyn, thank you for the $10, saying, for your fake job, we love you, fuck Donald Trump. So real, I appreciate you for the $10. Mackenzie with a 5, saying the fiance needs to leave him. Probably. Shannon with a $5 saying, just doing my portion of your salary for the day. That's so kind of you, Shannon. Then Ashley with a $5 saying, money for having the patience of a god. I don't know, sometimes. Lisa with a $10. Lizzie with a 5 and Max with a 1. Cade with a 1. Thank you guys all so much for the love. Like, holy shit, you guys are being so kind right now. Then also Madison with a $10 saying, it's a real job dealing with Trump supporters. Get your bag. Thank you for the love, Madison. And then Haley with a $5 saying, thank you for educating this guy and his guys. Well, we're not going to shit on her. She was wrong about a lot of things, but she was calling Trump a piece of shit. So, and then as well as Riley with a $1. Thank you so much. And then Megan with the $5 for my 10 kids. Thank you for the love. Let's go. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Oh, then also Tegan's with the $5 saying $5 for working and twerking on these Trump supporters. Working and twerking. What an interesting combo. Oh, shit. Sorry. 2 more. As well as Kira, thank you for the motorcycle. I appreciate that. And then Angel with the $16 on PayPal saying adding to the paycheck. Thank you, Angel. Show some love to Angel in that chat. And then Jared with the $5 saying that dude needed to put his dentures in. Keep it rolling, bruh. Appreciate you for the love, Jared. And then, yo, GNAF, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. What the fuck is going on tonight, y'all? GNAF with a $100 super chat on YouTube. Show some love to GNAF down below. Says, get yourself something nice. GNAF, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go get a dinner. I'm going to go get a dinner. Maybe I'll go down to the city market and get a nice steak to throw on the grill. Something like that. I appreciate you for the love, GNAF. That is so incredibly kind of you. Everybody, please show some love to GNAF down below, alongside Amaya with a $5 on PayPal and Max with a $5 on Venmo, saying Dean Loki's swole. I'm not swole yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there quite yet. You know, like I'm looking decent. I'm getting back into the gym. I've been back in for a month now. I'm putting back on that muscle. Give me another like 4 months and I'm going to be looking real solid. Okay. Give me another 4 months. I'm going to be up by like 10 pounds. I'm going to be looking good. Right. So that's the goal. That's the goal. Another 4 months. I'm going to be looking fuego. Okay. All right. Well, that guy actually got our live completely restricted. And we are just now coming up on 4 hours. I'm going to hang out with you guys, talk to you for around 5 minutes here. Then I'm going to hop off for the night. Let me also just go ahead and send a message over to Parker and see when he's going to be on. Hey, you going to be on soon? All right. Let's see what else here. Yo, Baran, that is Birran, with a $20 over on Venmo, saying, please do a segment, explaining tariffs to MAGA. Dude, so many Trump supporters don't even know what a goddamn tariff is. And it is so sad and so disheartening when you get on. Okay, so I just sent Parker a text asking him if he's going to be on soon. He said, when are you getting off? And I told him I'm going to get off when he gets on. So we'll be on here for a couple more minutes until Parker starts his stream. If you are in the mood for some more debates, you could just head over there. He'll be doing them for the rest of the night. Okay. All right. Yeah, Parker's going to be on here any second. If you have a question for me, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm going to take a couple questions from y'all down below right now. Somebody in the YouTube chat says, great stuff, bro. I really enjoy your content. Thank you. You know, I will say, these streams are entertaining. Like, I'm going to keep it so real. This shit is entertaining. And I think that's a good thing, you know? Because the purpose of these streams is to, like, spread, like, advocacy for, like, critical topics, try to get people more aware, to educate people. And the fact that we could do that we could educate people, that we could spread advocacy for important topics, while also like having a space that is like so entertaining is cool. It's really cool. It's great. You know, it makes me happy, right? Because there is now this incentive of entertainment for education on all of these things that are so important. As well as Janaf, thank you so much for another $50 on Super Chat on top of the $150 you've already donated. That is so kind of you. Saying you're an absolute breath of fresh air, Dean Janaf. That is seriously so incredibly kind of you to say. I'm happy you're enjoying this stream, and we do these every day, by the way. So I'm not going anywhere. As well as Haley with the $10 on Venmo saying, first time hearing you debate, I was not disappointed. You know what? That actually raises a good question. How many of the people in here are in here for the first time? Let me know down below if this is your first time seeing me. As well as Braden with the $11. Hey, do you mind if I come up to ask a few questions? My name is B. Healy or something. Well, unfortunately, I'm just going to be taking questions like from the chat, Braden, just because we're about to get off. But yeah, look at that. A lot of people in here for the first time. For those of you that were in here today for your first time, how did you enjoy it? How did you enjoy listening to these crazed Trump supporters lose their shit because of facts? Let me know. Loved it? Great. Great. I'm happy. No, I'm happy. That's great. No, that can be a lot of fun. Let's see here. A lot of people in the YouTube chat are talking about a mullet check. I think that means I need to get a haircut. I'm not gonna lie. I do need a haircut. I've been putting that one off. I've just been letting my hair grow. That needs to change. You will probably see me with a haircut in the coming days, quite frankly. Kel with the $1 on Venmo saying come to Utah to combat Charlie Kirk. Okay, I actually will be at Utah State University on September 30th. I will be there. I have a Backseat Lovers concert in Salt Lake City on October 1st. And I saw that Charlie Kirk is going to be doing his thing a day beforehand, like an hour north of Salt Lake. So I'm just going to drive out there a day early so I could go to Charlie Kirk's event at no pain or significant traveling for me because I'm already going to be out in Salt Lake. That'll be great. Somebody in the YouTube chat said we want Mullet Buff Dean back. Bro, Mullet Buff Dean was like crazy. I remember Mullet Buff Dean. That was nuts. I remember that phase. I was in my Mullet Buff Dean phase when I first started streaming. So you'll find a bunch of clips of like me on TikTok with a mullet, wearing like some like white tank top, looking ripped, looking jacked. That was me when I first got into the shit. As well as Kylie, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying, can you please talk about the ways... well, actually, let me go ahead and take another look at the donation because it cut off. Kylie with the $10 says, can you please talk about the way that... Kylie, I am so sorry. Venmo cut your donation short. Okay, here it is. Kylie with the $10 says, once again, for the last time, my apologies. Can you please talk about the way that the ideals of masculinity, i.e. manual labor and anti-intellectualism, helps MAGA by making people vote in their own disinterests? Yes! Very smart comment. So toxic masculinity tells people to be an uneducated narcissist at the end of the day, if you want me to keep it short. And this absolutely works against their own self-interest, not only because it leads them to support a terrible candidate because of that lack of education, but something else that I want to see talked about more is how toxic masculinity will also hurt the toxic men. Like, I feel like there is such a good opportunity for like some, like somebody in like the manosphere on the left to like start a podcast talking about how if you're a toxic man, it hurts you. You know what I mean? Because it does. It does. Regardless if you're gay or straight, your love interests are going to be cut down by about 50%. People aren't going to want to be with you if you're a total POS. You know, you're going to have worse relationships at the job with your family members. You're just generally going to be less happy. I cannot imagine it is happy to think that you are superior to everybody else. But, you know, then the rest of society is telling you that you're wrong and that you aren't. It's going to make you lonely and all these other things. I feel like there's a good opportunity for that. Somebody in the chat says, tell me your workout routine. Ooh, it's like pretty intensive. It is only 5 days a week, but it's like getting pretty long. It's like an hour and a half. So I do an anterior-posterior split, which means on one day, I'll do basically everything on the front of my body, excluding biceps. So I'll do like chest, shoulders, tris, quads, and upper quads. And then my anterior day is everything on the back of my body, excluding triceps and including biceps. So that's like back, bis, rear delt, hamstring, calves, etc. And I'll do day on, day off, day on, day off. So that's what we've been doing. And we've been doing this for the last 25 days. And let me tell you guys, because I've already worked out for 2 years, but then quit for a year, I have a good muscle memory, and the muscle's been coming back insanely fast. So I did an in-body test that like not only took a screenshot of what my weight was, but also what my overall muscle mass was when I first started. And then I did one again last week. And in 23 days, I gained 7 pounds. and 4.6 of them were pure muscle mass. Which was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So I'm going to keep with it. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and hop off for the evening. Go show some love to Parker. You could find him on @ParkerGetAJob on PayPal. What the fuck? Sorry, I read a message in my chat. You could find him on @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok and @ParkerGetAJob on YouTube. Y'all are some weirdos over there in the TikTok comment section. I see you. Should we just call out one of the random people spamming that? Let me look through these accounts. No, I won't do that. That's evil. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hop off for the night. See you all tomorrow for more political debates. Not for flexing my bicep, but for political debates. Go show some love to Parker @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok and YouTube. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Peace and love. Goodbye.